guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jamesia Capri, the nurse practitioner extraordinaire. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Today we are doing the 8 o'clock couple motivation, and I've got my crew here. We've got some special guests. I am just going to bring them right on to the stage. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I can't hear you, Tina.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now. There's no feedback, but I don't really hear you here. Maisha, can I hear you?
Can you hear me now?
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dayton.
Good
Can
morning,
I hear
Dayton.
you?
Can I hear you?
Hey. But I gotta get out of Clubhouse. All right, cool. I'm still hearing echo, but
Am I giving you feedback, Dr. J?
No, but
you sound like you're kind of far away. Okay, I don't really know. I don't know. Is that better?
It's a little bit better.
A little bit better. Okay, I'll just come closer or talk louder or whatever.
All right.
Well, good morning.
Today what we're going
probably
to have to do. Yeah, a little bit of feedback, right? So maybe we should, let's see. It looks like everybody's mic is muted except for yours, Em. So
Oh no, that was Tina, but I'll mute mine.
Oh, it was feedback from Tina?
Yeah, when we're in the Clubhouse room at the same time.
Okay. Well, no problem. Good morning. We're going to talk about this morning a little bit of everything, kind of a hodgepodge, some Father's Day stuff, some Juneteenth stuff. We're just going to get started. You guys know who I am. I am Dr. Jamesia, the nurse practitioner extraordinaire, and I'm also an associate professor online. I am a YouTube influencer. That's why we're here. I'm also an intermittent fasting mindset coach and all of the things. So I'm excited that you guys are here with us today on a Friday live. I'm ready to get this conversation started. And happy Father's Day to all of you fathers out there. Hey, Dayton, happy Father's Day. If you're a father, are you a father?
No, I am not. Used to be a dog father, but not anymore.
All right, well, enjoy Juneteenth then. Good morning, y'all. I'm going to mute.
Hey there, guys. I'm hoping that I'm not giving any feedback. If so, let me know. I'll change that up. We are in the Clubhouse now. We are on Dr. Jamesia's YouTube channel, and I'm loving it. She's got her mug. Ooh, nice. Dr. Jamesia, I just finished your drink. Let me tell you guys, if you weren't in the room yesterday, you have to listen to the replays from yesterday. I'm loving it because it's got me 3 pounds down. You know how your drink does to me, Dr. Jamesia. I love it. I am Stars Tina, and we started this room in December. Clubhouse streets are starting to pop up right now. Excited about today's topic, whether it's Father's Day, Juneteenth, wrap up of the week, what you're doing for the weekend, whatever. Maisha is muted. I don't know where she's speaking, but that's all I have to say for now. Throwing it back to you, Dr. J.
I just want us to introduce ourselves. So, hey, Em. Hey, Maisha.
Hey, no,
I'm calling you Em. I just started calling you Em.
No, it's all right. It's fine. I have many nicknames, and these are allowed in public. Hi, good morning. This is Maisha, the Sensual Energy Alchemist, and I am a relationship coach who works with men and women who are ready to release the shame around sex and create lives filled with more pleasure and play. And as always, excited to be on YouTube with the mods from Clubhouse. And hey to the Clubhouse fam, how y'all doing?
Hey, Maurice.
Hey, good morning. I am not on Clubhouse, so you all will have to relay what I say. Anyway, I'm an artist, photographer, painter, all kinds of things. This thing behind me, that's one of my works. It's called, what is that called? Conjure. It was created during, while I was listening to a musician friend of mine play his new album. And so the cut is Conjure from his album. I'll tell you all about it later. But anyway, yeah, that's me.
What's the artist's name?
His name is Okori Johnson. He goes by OK Cello on Instagram. And what he does, he's a cellist, but he is a looping cellist, meaning he set up this rig where he can create beats with his cello, loops, I should say, with his cello, and then play along with those pre-recorded loops. It's really, really nice stuff. But he's a brother.
Awesome. 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 All right. Well, I'm tossing it back to you. I'm actually going to toss it back to Maisha. Yeah. What's our question of the day? Somebody. Let's get that started.
Oh, I didn't know if Tina was going to say something.
I'm going to put Carmel on the spot because I see her in the clubhouse. So Carmel, is she in there? Yes, she is. You know, she always comes up with the best questions. And I do want to say good morning to Trisha. Good morning to Chris Cynthia. Dr. J, Trish says you're looking good. So, Carmel, let's hear you.
Thank you. Thank you for putting me on the spot like that. Okay, so I do have a question for y'all. Okay. How would you like to be remembered 100 years from now? Let's say somebody's in that virtual library and comes across some newspaper clip and it has your name on it. What do you want to be remembered by 100 years from now? Go.
You got to go first because that was a tough question.
What do I want to be remembered? I feel like my best qualities are what I would love people to know and remember about me, and what I feel my best qualities is my sincere wish for the world to be well. Whatever wellness looks like for somebody, whether it's spending time with their families or making money. So I want to be remembered as this was the woman that created a movement, or not even created a movement because it already is one, perpetuated, touched the lives of thousands and thousands of people. It's humble and it's quite, I feel like my answer is a little bit on the average side, simple side, but I feel like that's what I want to be remembered for. So Carmel, I'm complete.
Love it. Let's go back and forth. So one of the mods that's on the YouTube, who wants to go next?
I'll go. So as Carmel was talking, I was like, I want to be remembered by all of the inspiration that I've given to others, all of the mirroring and messaging of positivity. I want to be remembered by all of the institutions that I create for women to give them a place to just be the best them they can be. So I want to be remembered by something like that. And maybe some of the books that I write as an amazing author as I actualize all of that. So yeah.
Wow, that was
beautiful. I love that, Dr. Jamisi. I'm stealing everything that you just said. Who else?
I'm sure.
So Tina, I want to hear from you.
We have to go to someone on the stage first. We're going back and forth.
We're going back and forth. Okay, self-care maven Tonye, please share with us. Maybe
I'm here. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm here. I'm trying to unmute myself. Oh my God. Me, I would love to be remembered for being a woman who empowered other women to reclaim their lives and take back who they are, especially in terms of, getting off the altar of what I call other people's expectations, living in your truth and being unapologetic about it. So that's what I'd like to be remembered for. That is what I'm passionate about. And, I could go on and on, but I'm going to leave it right there.
It sounds empowering, and you know I'm all for empowerment. So thank you for that, Tonya. That was actually quite uplifting. I'm happy to hear that. So somebody on YouTube now?
That was a good answer. Jealous, Tonier. I like that answer, but I definitely want to be remembered, like similar to what you said, because it feels good now. So I can only imagine. I think of when we talk about this question, I think of Back to the Future, how they had like the newspapers and how things can change if you do certain things. So I'd want the newspaper article to say 100-year anniversary of Tina, the woman who changed the world through fitness. For all the women, men too, but mainly women, for all the women that had a major trauma in their life or tragedy, and exercise and nutrition just transformed their lives. So that is what I want to be remembered for 100 years from now.
Oh my God, can I just say, I'm just adding everybody's answer to my list of things. Tina, that was really powerful. It was endearing. It was heartfelt. I heard the sincerity in your voice, so I appreciate that answer. Thank you, thank you. So we're gonna go back to somebody in the audience. Shelly, I know that you're not feeling well, but so I want you to write it in the chat. Let me see if anybody else wrote anything in the chat. With the question, Shelly says, "Dang, Carmel with the questions." But Shelly, definitely chime in when you can. So I'm gonna go back. Oh, Shelly did. I want to be remembered for bringing education and economic power to Black male youth. You know what I think is so powerful about that, Shelly? I love that, by the way. I love it. I feel like, yes, women, young girls, we're definitely being empowered more recently than ever, I feel, in history, to speak up, to be strong, to stand for what we believe in, to go for what we want. And I feel there's a small part of me, I don't know, guys, let me know if you agree. There's a small part of me that feels like our young boys are being left behind. They're being neglected. And I told that to a teacher friend of mine that teaches young children, and she just kind of said, the boys are okay. They're getting it from everywhere anyway. The boys are okay. I want to know, not to digress too far from our topic, are the boys okay? I feel like they might need a little bit more attention because we've been giving the girls so much attention. Does anybody want to chime in?
Maurice, I'd love to hear from Maurice.
I'm going to try to do this.
I threw it at him. I'm sorry, Maurice.
No, I'm good. I was just getting ready to say I was going to try to do this on Clubhouse as well, so people can hear. And if you all get an echo,
they can hear you on Clubhouse. Don't worry about it. They can hear you on Clubhouse. You can just speak.
All right, cool, perfect. I think boys do need attention. Boys and men have been left alone for a very long time, and it's really evident where we're headed because of some of the things that we do, especially here on Clubhouse, out in the world. There's this continual, it seems like there's this continual need for us to prove ourselves. And what that says to me is that we haven't in many ways reached maturity, because once you reach maturity, you don't have a need to prove yourselves anymore. So there needs to be a pouring in from those of us who get it and who know. Hope that made sense.
I'd like to say something really quick, Carmel. So when I decided to start my nonprofit for my son, and they said, you have to niche down and decide what age range or whatever, because you can do everything, but I wanted to dial down. And I went to the superintendent's office of the town of Rahway, and they said, well, Tina, the best age to really mold a child is 7th and 8th grade, because that's the time when they're either going to veer off to greatness or veer off to like not doing good things. And I found that was so true, because I remember when my son was in middle school, it's like you have that point where you're changing classes than you were before. And the boys that we had, it was amazing, just little things of introducing themselves. Like I don't want to say force, but I would encourage them. We had our meetings on Saturdays. Every Saturday we would meet at the rec, and I had other men come and so they could model from it. I had the mayor come one day and teach them how to tie a tie. Some of these boys didn't even know the basics. And I realized this one day when my son and I and my daughter, we always had these weird conversations. And I don't know how we got on this freaking conversation, but he was saying how when he took a shower, he didn't wash in between his toes. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, he didn't even understand he had to wash in between his toes. So yes, the boys do need help. The men do need help at a younger age, because if you wait until they're too old, it's just not going to help. And they need to see men. Now, Maisha, tell me your thoughts on this. My goal when I started the program is I wanted to show them black men. So I brought in lawyers, attorneys, policemen. And then one day one of the kids said, Miss Tina, why don't you bring white people in here? And I was like, kind of lost by that. Look at Maisha's face. She's like, I'm not. Do you have any thoughts on that? Why you think they may have wanted to see that?
I have a lot of thoughts, but maybe we finish the question of the day because that could lead into all of the topic. And I have some thoughts on all that. I had lots of thoughts.
And you know what? Let me say this. I want to roll back to what Maurice said about pouring into men and men being the ones to do that. And I agree with that. I know women can do a certain amount, but when it doesn't come from a man, it hits differently. And I appreciate you saying that. And we need to pay attention to that. And I think that as women with men who already get it and who are already mature, that's kind of our lane, so that they can continue to do what they need to do with the boy men that are coming through. So yeah, I appreciate your answer. So I just wanted to speak to that.
Can I say something more? And this this may take us into that whole other discussion, but and I don't know how this is going to hit, but HBCUs are great. Okay, 100% HBCUs are great. But one thing they don't do is really help you in interacting with and dealing with white people. So maybe that's why those people in your group, Tina, wanted someone white to come in, because we need to be able to understand how to interact with them, how to manipulate, how to be able to navigate's a better word, how to be able to navigate that world. And when we're surrounded by only us and we're faced with that world, it can be jarring and it can be defeating and it can be a bunch of stuff. So there needs to be a mix.
Yeah. And you know what? And I think that when there isn't, and you get thrown into the real world, because HBCUs are very protected. When you get thrown into the real world, I have one child who went to a HBCU and one who went to a predominantly white institution. And the one who went to a HBCU, well, you know, she was pretty good. You know, she's pretty flexible, but there is definitely a difference in how they can navigate. Number one, how they navigate their finances, how they navigate groups, how they navigate just life in general. And so, yeah, I totally agree with that. HBCUs are great for probably somebody like me who was around a lot of white people growing up and then needed to be around more black people and just to learn a little bit more. So there's a delicate balance. So I agree.
Go ahead, Carmel. You can speak now.
Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, Dr. J, I totally feel you. I feel like I grew up around my family, of course, but more white people, and there is a difference in the way I behave towards Black and white people, but when I not compare myself, but when I see how others deal with different races. So it's such an interesting dynamic. And I know we diverted from the question of the day, but I wanted to just say that Shelly had chimed back in, and she said, the world is a rainbow. I want my boys to have confidence with any audience, which is so important. She said, our men need our investment. Education must be simplified and made available for free. Sade says, yes, those adolescent years. Self-care Maven said, I heartily agree with Dr. J. And Sade says, the conversation is up my alley. I work with youths. Yes, this could definitely be another room and another topic. Yes. And Shelly chimes in saying, we should talk about this again one day. All right, so back to the question of the day. Maisha, or whose turn is it? Is it Clubhouse or YouTube to answer the question of the day? How would you want to be remembered 100 years from now?
Great question. I don't remember. Looks like Aisha's unmiking.
I'll not let Maurice go first because he's our guest today.
Yeah.
As an artist, 100 years from now, I want something that I've created to stand the test of time and be in a gallery, in a museum or something somewhere. As a Black man, as an artist, I want that to be seen, so that others coming up can look and see, well, they did it and they did it that, or he did it and he did it that way. I can do it that way too. So yeah, creating a piece of art that becomes part of the fabric of our civilization, period.
I don't know about you, but that makes me want to just do something great, Maurice. It's like, okay, now I got to do something big. I like that. Go ahead, Carmel.
Yeah, I really like that too. It was inspiring. And Maurice, what it made me feel like saying or contributing is the fact that because our talents and our perspectives, especially you as an artist, because that's just so unique and so fresh and so you, and nobody else can repeat that, we are really pioneers of our thoughts, of our ideas, of what we put out in the world. So I appreciate that answer, Maurice. And again, it just inspired me so much, just like what Tina just said. So who's next? I would love to hear. Renee, are you on podcast mode?
I can come on real quick.
Okay, cool.
So how I want to be remembered is basically how I made people feel. And what I mean by that is that I want to make them feel as though I were a kind and compassionate person towards them, helping them, and just seeing the best in people and not judging them or being judged or excluding them based on behaviors of people they had no control over. So that's it in a nutshell. I will release the mic.
Renee, that made me feel so warm and fuzzy inside because you are. I get that from you from the first day I was in this room. So mission accomplished, I feel, for you. Okay, somebody on YouTube. Did everybody go?
No, I can go now. So I'm sorry.
Am I muted?
No.
They're not going to be.
Okay, yeah, sorry. 100 years from now, I want to be remembered for building an empire. I want to be remembered for starting my family on the trajectory that lives up to what our last name means. My middle son, it's funny, he, when we were talking about the ideas that I have and where I want our family to go, he's like, in our house, there could be like this hall where there's a picture of you and and dad, and like these, well, and his mind busts or whatever, is watching movies, but but there's a picture of the two of you as like the people that started this whole thing, so that everybody would know where the family came from. I said, absolutely. So 100 years from now, I want my grandchildren and great-grandchildren to remember that this was the start of an empire. That's it.
So powerful. Does anybody agree with me? That just sounds powerful, and it sounds like, we're all leaving legacies. This is definitely a rich legacy. So I appreciate that. Back to Clubhouse. Crescentia, you are next up. Care to share with? Oh no, wait. We're doing mods, right? We're doing mods.
Mod just went.
Okay, so Crescentia can go next, yeah.
So Tina, read some of the chat. over here. Unless you want me.
I can't say that again.
The comments over here from Trish.
Yeah, I can't write. What do you want me to do? Say them?
Yeah, I'll say them.
I'm sorry.
No.
Say that again.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you want me to read them?
Well,
I'll read them and get the clubhouse and all that at the same time. Yes. Okay, guys.
So they can feel.
All right. So the clubhouse people, if you notice at the top, we are on Dr. Jamesia's YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. And Trish Mickey, she wrote in the clubhouse, she's like, I'm going to YouTube. I can't deal with the feedback. So she's got a lot going on over here. She's loving the comments. She says the great question you asked, Carmel, when you said, are the men okay? That was a great question. And she said, young men are struggling in the system. I watched it in the treatment centers. They were ignoring while the mothers received significant assistance. She also says boys need molding for men. I like navigate instead of manipulate. Maurice had said that. I love that. And I never really thought about that till you said it, Maurice. You know, we don't understand the difference with hanging or being with white people or black people and that whole thing. I will be honest. I come to people like Maisha and Tina because I can honestly ask questions of them about what I don't understand if your culture. Trish needs to get on this StreamYard right here. She's loving you, Maurice. And then Tonya, good morning, y'all. Loving the view on YouTube. She's on YouTube and Clubhouse. She's multitasking. And Trish said she has subscribed. So Rosa subscribed. Rick, welcome to the room. Click the link at the top so you can see us live. And I think I'm throwing it back to Carmel or Jay.
Yeah, so I'll just really quick. I am loving the conversation. Is there feedback?
Tina, you have to mute.
Yeah, there you go. You guys can still hear me? Okay, good. So, my son, I have a son who is my eldest. And he right now is this whole, the police stopping and feeling the anxiety and all of those things. And he's a very confident young man, but I have noticed that anxiety that's different. And so his dad started to just spend more time, just spend more time. And they started doing classes together as far as like exercise classes or fighting class, whatever y'all do. But I noticed that his confidence, because he felt like he had a little bit more in his arsenal, because he's not a fighter, but he felt he needed something. And I've never seen that in him because he's just a good guy. But yeah, I agree with Maurice on the fact that men need to show young boys and men. But here's my question for you, Maurice, since you are the male here on the panel. Ooh, feedback. For us in society, us meaning Black women, I feel like we do have more and we have more tools, and for whatever reason, we've been uplifted or pushed forward and made to believe that we are something more, or like we're pitting us against each other. So here's my question to you. As women, strong Black women, what can we do? How can we do better? How can we support Black men better? How can we win with Black men? How can we do what we need to do to be part of the support? Am I making sense?
Yeah, definitely making sense. I don't know if I have an answer. I mean, that's a really deep question, and it brings to mind a couple of things that I've been musing on for months now. One of them is like what you just said, Dr. J. Women take on a whole lot and feel they have to be stronger and superwoman and all this other stuff. And by doing that, oftentimes you are removing that responsibility from men. And you are, whether you know it or not, attracting the kind of men that are weaker and are going to latch on to that strength coming from you. It's a hard pill to swallow. It's
We
a
need a
hard.
repeat. Can you say that again? I gotta record it. Say it again.
It is a hard thing for many of us to admit, but the stronger women are, the more they will attract weak men. And then there's a complaint. Why is my man this weak? Why is he not doing this? Why is he not doing the other? Because you are. And I'm not trying to create a victim and the opposite of victim. What's the opposite of victim? A victim.
Villain.
Okay. I'm not trying to create that because it really isn't that way. But as men, we need to try our best to let go of all the crap that society is giving us. Let me just say black men. As black men, we need to get rid of all the crap that society is giving us and throwing our way and telling us what we're supposed to be and who we are and all this other crap, and become who we were meant to be. Y'all know I love stories.
Father.
Y'all know I love stories and reading. Can I read y'all something?
Yeah, of course.
This is something I wrote many years ago. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Letter from a Birmingham Jail. Martin Luther King wrote from a jail cell. This was inspired by that. Okay, it's called Letter from a Black Man. To all my fellow brothers, I greet you in the name of peace and all that is righteous in this world. In light of current events, I thought it prudent to take just a moment to express a few things that are weighing heavily upon my heart. I've seen a disturbing trend growing amongst our ranks, where we begun to believe that being less somehow translates into being more, where ignorance and irresponsibility are seen as hallmarks of all Black men. I'm here to tell you that you were not born with an entitlement to be ignorant, but have been imbued with a mandate for exemplifying excellence. We've been given a capacity for love and expression that is unmatched in other species and races and cultures. This capacity for expression was meant as a way to uplift and praise and to spread love to our women and children, but we've chosen to bastardize this gift, using it to demean our children and abase our women, attempting even to change what it means to be Black and proud. I've come to realize that fear is what often keeps our tongues from expressing peace. But what are we afraid of? Is our manhood so fragile, so unfamiliar to us that expressing love to our women, our God, our family in a way other than materially will somehow lessen us? We spew profanity-laced lyrics. We embrace a venomous word and pass that off as art and melody while pulling a veil over our own eyes as the world laughs at what we've become. My brothers, I'm not writing this to further frustrate or to anger. My purpose is simply to open our eyes to who we really are, so that the God in us may shine forth as the noonday sun, and our steps will be those of peace and comfort to those around us. I wish you peace, long life, and the blessings of God. Forever yours, a Black man. That's where we need to get. Realize who we are and just become who we were always meant to be.
And so I want to speak to something that Tonya put in the chat here. She says, I don't think there's more for Black women need to do in this regard. And I think that might be to my comment. But let me say this. There is an arrogance that some Black women do hold and walk in. And like Maurice said, I think that we need to kind of throttle back on some of the things that we think are appropriate, but really are not. And I want to say I had a African-American man as a patient the other day. He was 97. And I was explaining something to my nurse. And he told me, he said, "Hey, you need to be talking to me. I want to know what's going on with me. Why are you talking to her?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." He pretty much was saying, you're kind of being a little disrespectful when I'm sitting right here. Acknowledge me. And then I said something else out of pocket. And he said, "Hey, wait a minute. Hold on, young lady." I was like, okay. But it takes, like Maurice said, a strong, confident man to be able to bridle me. And that's what he was doing in that moment. And I felt it and I sat in it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to just take all this. So I think that sometimes there is an arrogance and we need to be called on it a little bit more. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but yeah, I kind of agree.
And let me say real
Say
quick, based on what you just said, there are times when we do that same thing. When when our misogyny comes out and we speak to the man in the couple as opposed to the woman who the thing is about. I'm sure some of y'all in couples may have had a male doctor come out and speak to the husband as opposed to the wife or significant other or whatever. I don't know where this, well, I do know where it comes from. It's kind of human nature for us to want to do that. But yeah, anyway, go ahead, Tina.
I was just going to open it up to the Clubhouse room because I noticed some people raised their hands. So if there's anyone there on Clubhouse that would like to contribute, we're just kind of free flowing on this Saturday pop-up. As you know, it is Friday. You're in the Fit, Healthy, and Blessed Club. Today, I'm psyched, guys. We're on my favorite girls YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to the Nurse Practitioner Extraordinaire, did I say that correctly? Yes? Awesome. See, I know it because I love her Instagram, guys. It's colorful. It's fun. That's where we are live. So if you want to see our faces, just pop right in. You're in the Fit, Healthy, and Blessed Club. This is the 8 a.m. Cup of Motivation. Loving today's topic. It has so many roots growing. It's like I'm writing like crazy, guys. I'm like, that could be a topic. That could be a topic. Maurice, you have to become a regular dude because, like, you are amazing with the conversation. So, guys, remember, we're telling you what we do, what we share, what we believe in. We're not telling you what to do. Welcome Dee, welcome Nissy. I see Pete, I see Amelia, I see Sheila, I see Hattie. Rick came up to the stage. Rick, I noticed you had your hand up. Did you want to share something with us, Rick, regarding the topic? The question was, hopefully it's in the chat. 100 years from now, what do you want to be remembered for? What do you want in that newspaper article? If anyone else would like to chime in, just unmic. Otherwise, I'm going to throw it back to YouTube room. I see Rick. I see Rosa. Anyone else going once? Girl. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is our Tonya. Hit it, girl.
Okay, so based on what Maurice had initially said about when women are too strong, they attract the weaker men. I got to tell you, I had a boyfriend who broke up with me because of that. And he told me, he says, "Carmel, I don't know where I fit in your life. You pump your own gas, you make your own money, you do your own, you open your own doors." Like everything that he wanted to bless me with as far as what he can offer me, I already did for myself and I was declaring it. And he taught me a really important lesson. Let the dude be the dude in the relationship. And ever since then, everybody that I date is a business owner, is a mover and groover, makes their own money, is successful at it, is a leader since then. And because I realized what I was attracting, I realized what I had done. I was just being so strong, and I was proud of the strong woman that I was, and I still am, but I'm just now learning to give space to the man to do what he thrive together. So I'm Carmel, I'm complete.
Anyone else on the stage want to say anything?
This is Self-Care Maven. Just some, just some thoughts, what Maurice was reading earlier, and even Dr. J's earlier share. And my point was, when I say, my thing is when I say, at some point you've got to allow people to, it's just like when you want a child to learn how to walk. And you can't, at some point you have to stay in your lane and allow people to grow, because when you crowd people, people become stunted. I mean, I've seen that in my own life when I was growing up. I grew up in a very sheltered kind of environment, and at some point that was doing me a disservice. And so when I say that, at this point I don't think there's anything else for women to do, because I really do feel that way. I'm gonna stand on my 10 toes on that, because you have to allow people to grow and evolve in their own right. Give support where necessary, but and I don't think anyone needs to diminish themselves or step back in such a way that they're not their authentic self. Human beings are human beings, period. And then also, we have to, part of our strength, and I feel as humans, part of our strength is, standing and growing and evolving in our own self. And, you have to be whole. I take the perspective, you got to be whole before you can, talk about you coupling up with somebody and all of that. I hear this, and, I'm all for support and, of making things, resources available and things of that nature. But at some point, my position is you've got to allow men to mentor men and, offer the guidance and wisdom that they can share, because it's just a perspective that we as women, we just can't get into, and I don't think that's our place to be. So I'm just going to rest my mic and hand it over to whoever else wants to chime in. But,
Thank you, Tonya. Before we get started, you notice there's a link at the top. Carmel, I just want to thank you so much for your amazing questions, and that was great. Did you want to just say goodbye, give us an outro for this section today?
Yeah, so I'm going to run. I'm going to be on podcast mode, so I'm still going to be in the room, but just can't contribute. I'm in the field today. I would love to say I'm Carmel, especially for those of you who are listening on YouTube. I am one of two people that make up Fitness on Fire. So I would love if everybody can subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Fitness on Fire Experience. We're looking to have 100 subscribers by the end of the weekend. So can y'all help a sister or two sisters out? We work primarily with women over 40, and together we are creating a movement to help encourage and support women on their health and fitness journeys by way of nutrition and fitness. So I love being a part of today's conversation. And with that, I'm out. Carmel.
Thank you very much. Some great stuff here in the chat. Sorry, Maurice, I know we were going to your topic. So D, but he's not leading himself. How can I expect him? Ooh, D said, I guess regarding men, if he's not leading himself, how can I expect him to lead me? Sade, that is a weak man. Therefore, you do not let him lead or waste your time. Love it, love it, love it. Self-Care Maven said, Maurice, great point. Rick, hello, everyone. First time. Okay, Rick. Woo, woo, woo. Somebody please mute yourself, whoever that is. Great for coming through, Rick. Thank you, thank you. D says, but what do you say? Okay, it's obvious. Someone needs to be muted. Who is that making all that noise? Shelly. We love Shelly. We love you, Shelly. Sorry, I had to mute her. Okay, so this is a great one here. But what do you say when they tell you, oh, you're not letting me lead. You don't know where you're going, bro. How are you going to tell me where we're going? I just broke up with somebody that said that to me. Maurice, any comments on that? Or do you need me to read it again?
Well, this may take away my man card. But if a man says, let me lead, he's not ready to lead. If he's a leader and wants to, he just will. If he says, let me be the man in the relationship, he's not the man in the relationship.
Oh,
It sounds like he's talking about my ex-husband.
oh my goodness.
Here.
D gave you
And-
fire. Self-care lot. Raven said, "Whoo, spicy with a little hot pepper." She said, "Drop the mic."
And at the same on the same token, is that how it's said? If a woman says, I'm going to let him be the man, she's not.
Oh,
If she feels that she has to give the responsibility to him, she's still holding that responsibility.
Confused. Please explain. Help a sister.
oh.
I don't know how I can explain it any more than that. You know, it's almost like giving a child an allowance. I'm going to give you an allowance. If you mess that up, if you spend that on things that you're not supposed to spend, then I'm not going to give you any more. There are these reins that we believe we have in a relationship, especially between Black men and Black women. And I'm gonna let him be the man, girl. You're really not. You're still holding back and holding on, and just know that if them reins get too out of hand, you're gonna grab them back. Period. Before I go, the link that you posted in Clubhouse, probably one of the best.
Maurice, let me tell you before you get into that link. They're cheering you in this chat section here. It looks like Dr. J wants to say something.
Let me say something here. Listen, what school is that? What school you went to? Look, we need to bottle that up and market all that. Listen, and my girl over there is just silent. I would like to hear a little bit from you, ma'am, this morning. I haven't heard that one little peep. What's going on? What you think? Talk to us.
Because I have a lot to say on this. I'll let Maurice explain the YouTube link, and then I'll say something.
All right, you all tampered and
Yes,
all like
Clubhouse.
mellow. I don't know where this comes from.
All right, guys.
Listen.
We're gonna go. I don't know what's happening with the links in there, but please put the link back that we had in there before. Maurice is going to explain the link at the top. So again, thank you all that spoke. I see some new people in the room. Revlin, beautiful name. D, did he do a great job at answering your question? Do you feel empowered as the link goes back at the top? Let me hear you in the chats there. Yes, yes. All right. So Maurice, you can begin with the link that will be put back up at the chat again. Go ahead, Maurice.
Yeah, it's by a brother named Tony Porter. It's a TED Talk. It's probably one of the best examples of how many Black men have been socialized in this world. It's not long. Watch it. Check it out. He goes into the man box, and this man box that we're put in from early childhood. But it's really, really deep. I'm going to say 8, 9, 10 years old, something like that. But it's just a really good example of male socialization, especially in a Black neighborhood, Black community.
All right, Maisha, let's go, girl. Let's go, girl.
I was trying to get to the mute button. So I mean, there's nothing that Maurice said that I that I could disagree with, and so I want to say something, because if you don't come from, or if you're not a descendant of those who were enslaved, it's a different story for us, right? Versus if you were raised elsewhere. So the relationships between Black men and Black women here in this country have been very specifically engineered to produce the result that currently exists. It's not just about Black men not knowing how to do this or Black women doing too much of that. It has been engineered in that way on purpose, so that we will constantly be pitted against each other and would not be able to create strong families and strong communities. Because if we have strong families and strong communities, some of the shenanigans that happen would not happen. So this is not just, I need people to understand that part of this is a very deliberate attempt to create a specific atmosphere. And because human nature is what it is, once that atmosphere has been created, the human nature will just naturally roll with it. And then you can take your hands off like a kid learning how to ride a bike and be like, all right, go. And then we will pick it up from there. And so that is what has happened in our community specifically. So we now have this dynamic. And Tina, I just want to say, to the point of working with the boys, 3rd grade, not middle school, 3rd grade, because the school to prison pipeline starts in 2nd and 3rd grade. By the time they get
Did
to
you say prison pipeline?
the school to prison pipeline. So again, there is a very deliberate structure in place to ensure that by the time our children reach, they can track who's going to be in prison by the time children are in 3rd grade. When they start their standardized testing, they can tell which children are going to be able to make it through the system and which children will not. Not that they'll be educated or do great, but who will be able to make it through the system. But it's not designed or set up for our children to make it through the system. The system really isn't designed for any boys to make it through, white, black, or otherwise. It's just not really set up that way. It's set up for the way girls learn, not the way boys learn. But when you look at the testing, they are building facilities based on scores that are being received from 3rd grade reading levels. So if we want to protect our boys, we want to start getting them at 7, 8 years old. And here's the thing, and then I'll get back to but just on the boys learning for mothers of boys, the way boys' brains are set up, they generally don't really grasp reading until they're 6, 7, or 8 years old. As females, our brains are different. And because we communicate differently, you will find that we will start reading earlier. Boys don't read later because there's something wrong with them. It's because their brains are busy focused on kinesthetic or body learning versus the communication side of things. So people think that boys aren't doing well in the 3rd grade because they don't read well. And it's just that they naturally don't read well until they're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. But by that time, they've already been tracked, and we have this system that's happening. So getting back to relationships, everything that Maurice said, absolutely spot on, and is true. We have been given, as Black women, and understandably so to some extent, right? We've been given some extra. We really have. It has allowed us to really flourish. More of us have degrees. We're making the bank. We're doing all these things. And then so many of us are complaining that we can't find a good man. First of all, there are tons of good men out there, right? Now the thing is this hypergamy. Everyone's looking for 6-figure. I don't know why that's important, but everyone's looking for this materialistic luxury lifestyle instead of looking at the soul of the person and who they're going to build with, and what are you intending in this relationship? Meanwhile, you have boys who have been coddled by their mothers, partly out of fear. Admittedly, I've had to try to break myself out of that, right? With the society that they live in, not giving them the responsibility, not having enough male role models, having all female teachers in their classrooms, not enough male teachers in our schools. And so then you have boys who grow up to be slightly dependent on women because that's just what they saw. That's what they know. They want a woman who works as hard as their mom did, not realizing that their mom worked hard because there was nobody to assist her. But now they want a woman who's going to do all of that. And then there are women who are growing up saying, I don't want to work as hard as my mom. Like, that was rough. And I heard her crying in the middle of the night. And that's not what I want. But she doesn't trust him to do what needs to be done because she didn't see it. So they get together. And then there's this, like Maurice said, it's like, okay, I'm gonna let him be the man. First of all, you don't let a man be a man. A man is a man. You don't allow him that space, right? No man ever says, I'm gonna allow her to be a woman, right? I'm gonna let him be the man. He's not really sure what that means. Society is giving him 5 different directions as to what that actually means. So he's confused. He's looking to her for guidance. She's looking at him like, you're going to do something. And then she says, never mind, I'm going to do it myself. And he goes, okay, hands off. And now she's pissed and he's emasculated. And this is what we keep seeing over and over again in relationships. So in order for this to shift, we're going to have to learn to trust each other in this growth. And we're going to have to understand that the system is doing its job. And we cannot allow the system that we live in to do its job. We have to make a conscious decision to say, I'm not going to be a part of that anymore. And then we got to do all our healing and all of that and so forth and so on. So that's my first piece on that.
Can I jump in on that real quick?
Thank
First,
you.
first, loved everything you said.
Yes.
Not just
Me
kind of
too.
lost my train of thought. I've never really been a fan of generational trauma. That's in our DNA, that's in our psyche, that's in all kind of things. But recently, I've come to understand that there's a lot of that there, and it speaks to what you just said, Maisha. Anybody see the movie Crash? It was with
Yeah,
Terrence Howard. It was
Yes, I think
basically 4 different stories coming together. But there's a scene in that movie when Terrence Howard and his wife Tandy Newton are stopped by the police, and what's his name? Matthew?
McConaughey.
No, from the Lost Boys a long time ago. Matt. Anyway, he frisks Tandy Newton and he really feels her up, right? Terrence Howard is there and does nothing. And so when we were enslaved, there was buck breaking, where Black male Africans were sexually traumatized by their slave owners. That thing, that rift that was created back then still exists between Black men and women. Again, for a long time, I didn't believe in this generational trauma thing, but it's really still there. So to Maisha's last point, we have to realize that and make the conscious decision not to live by that. Even though it's there and it may be embedded in who we are, we can evolve beyond it because so many of us have. It's just that conscious decision to acknowledge that it's there and choose not to remain in it. That's it.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that what you were saying, and on the women's side of things, because the book breaking was it was a thing. It was done a lot in Virginia, actually. And on the women's side of things, when we talk about the trust, that scene, and I did see Crash, I didn't remember, but I remember that scene. And so imagine there's generations of that, right? There's oh gosh, I don't remember the movie. And I this is why I stopped watching these movies. But in this one scene, Gabrielle Union, is it 12 Years a Slave? 12 Years a Slave, I think was the last of these films that I saw. And in one particular scene, Gabrielle Union, she's got a husband, a guy, sometimes you were allowed that. And, but the master called for her. He had some friends over, right? And they wanted to be entertained. And her man tried so hard not to want her to go. And even thinking about it makes me very emotional because I cannot imagine what it felt like at that time as a man to have this woman who is your heart, who you cannot protect. And if you try, they will kill you. And then she'll have no protection. So you let her go. And she comes out, and she's holding her ass, right? We're real clear on what has taken place with these men. And, he's out there and he's like, are you okay? And she didn't want to talk about it. No, nothing. How do you as a woman, you're in this rock and a hard place. I know he can't help me, but he did nothing for me. I don't want to be angry with him, but I'm so mad at him. And we see that in 2022. We see that same mentality in women in 2022. And this is what I mean by coming out of the system. Yes, epigenetics is a real thing. It's a real thing that trauma gets passed through the DNA. It has been scientifically proven. It's a real thing that chemicals that are created out of stress get passed in through sperm and through eggs. And so each generation that is created now has that thing in them. And when you then take it and put it in a similar environment, it gets to flourish. If it's not in that environment, then it starts to die out. But because so many of us are still living in the same environments and don't understand these patterns and these behaviors, and don't understand that much of what we're doing is not because that's who we are, or that's what we've come from, or that's just what it is, or that's our culture, that our culture was created out of trauma, we still keep perpetuating the thing, thinking that's just who we are, that's just what it is. And it's not. It's who we've become based on these horrific circumstances that we've had to go through. But when you think about it, both of those things, right? I can't trust her. I can't trust him. How do we begin to build from that, right? And this is great that this goes into, that we talk about this on the eve of Juneteenth, because, well, Juneteenth. But I'll yield the mic. So I was over here looking at the comments.
Yeah, that's a lot to think about, to digest, to know, to believe. But it does have to be discussed and said so that we can at least start to become aware. To get closer to the next level of relationships with Black men and Black women. I don't know. I just think that the first thing is just the knowledge, and then the understanding, then the believing, and then the knowing. So I'm glad we're having the conversation.
Yes, I totally agree. Reading in the chats here, loving all the people that are coming through on Facebook, and loving where Maisha and Maurice went. I always learn so much. Makes me think about Father's Day, which is coming up. And I thought maybe we could think of, I said on Monday, if you guys come to the room on Monday, please have a profile pic of you and your dad, or you and your grandfather. Yeah, I'm going to do my grandfather. I'm going to have to really search. Oh, look at that. Is that your dad? Oh, see, you guys got to get on YouTube. Put it up again, please, Maurice. He put a picture of him. How old were you there?
Oh, man. Maybe 5, 6. And you see, I'm not smiling because he was getting ready to go away for work.
And Dr. J's dad. See, that's why you got to come on YouTube, guys. That is beautiful. I love it. Mommy, if you're watching this, find a picture of me and my grandfather. You notice I give her the work, right? But Tonya said, this is Fun Friday. So let's think of a memory that we can say, moderators, the funniest memory of you and your dad. I'm going to go first. It's not funny. It's kind of disgusting. So my father used to smoke Kohl's cigarettes. Anyone here remember the 70s? Oh my gosh, I was born in 72. I loved the freaking 70s. Oh my gosh. My father was a hard worker. He had a record store. It was called Nate the Skate. If you're familiar with Paterson, New Jersey, it was Nate the Skate. He also had a modeling agency on the side. He also worked for Coca-Cola. He was like a truck driver. Don't ask me how he did all this stuff. But the record store was right next to the movie theater. So I would always get to see all the Bruce Lee movies for free. They would do shows like for Blue Magic and all those people. I don't know who they were. So my father was dark skinned, but we looked alike, completely alike. He had dimples just like me. He smoked cigarettes, and he was always going all the time. It's cool. And he would smoke. I can't show. Actually, I can show. He would smoke one cigarette. When this one was dying, he'd put the other cigarette to light the current one he was smoking. Again, that was him. Here's my vivid memory. We're in Paterson, New Jersey. If you're in Paterson, they have those beautiful falls. We're crossing this bridge. The projects are right in front of us. We lived on top of the hill where the projects were. So if you're familiar, there's this hill that goes like this, 24 4th North Street. I still remember the address. I'm in the back of the car. I'm a little girl with my daddy. He's in front. Both windows are down. What do you think happened to me? A big wad of in my face. That is my daddy memory. Who wants to go next? Throw in the mic.
See, I can't hide my face when we're on YouTube, like, and I don't have a really good poker face. Like, no.
A big loogie.
Come on, guys. What's your favorite memory? Dr. J, that is a beautiful picture of your dad. Can we see it again? Guys, you got to get on this YouTube. I don't know if she can hear me. All righty. Dr. J is going to talk to us any second now. I got to use the bathroom, guys.
Tap it in the chat.
See, this isn't good when we're on YouTube, guys, because I can't run to the bathroom.
You can. Just turn off the camera. Or just get up and go.
That's you guys. I'm not even trying, but I want to hear her story. Go ahead, Dr. J. We want to hear your story with that handsome man.
Did you see my message? I have people like right at my window and it's really loud. So can I go last? Okay.
Maurice, you showed a picture. You want to talk about that picture you showed us? Guys, if you're not watching, he was a little boy sitting on his dad's lap. What's the memory you want to share, Maurice, or talk about the photo?
Well, actually, it wasn't about the memory. Wasn't about the photo, but the photo was, Dad worked 10 days away, 4 days home. Okay. So he was always back and forth. And so he had just gotten home, and if you see, there's a Christmas tree in the background. And so it was around Christmas time, and I didn't want him to go back to work. And so that's why I'm looking like seriously sour, because I was mad. But my most fun memory is also one that speaks to Black male socialization, especially for me. I was born in 1959, so things were different then, right? Okay, so during the summer, like I said, he was home for 4, away for 10. During the summer, I would often go to where he was stationed for work and stay there for a week, 2 weeks, whatever. And so there's one particular time, this is the first time I ever got to stay up late and watch Johnny Carson. And for those of you who don't know, Johnny Carson was the progenitor to Jimmy Fallon and Jay Leno and all that other stuff. And the part that speaks to our socialization was Dad had a side piece. And so he left me there, and he got dressed and put on his Aramis cologne, and he said, "Don't tell your mother." And what that did for me, I was a member of the Man Club. I was given a secret to hold against my mother. I was staying up after 11 o'clock at night to watch Johnny Carson. I was grown, and I was probably 10, 11 years old. I say it was fun because just that feeling of being able to stay up late by yourself, not have to be not have to be accountable to anyone, and that he accepted me into the Man Club. It may sound bad. Sounds bad to me when I talk about it. But for a young boy in that era to be given that, it was really, really deep and very pivotal in my growing up. Later on, hate is a strong word. I disliked him for that. I felt bad about not telling Mom what was going on, but she knew anyway. But anyway, I felt bad for not doing that. But I knew that if I was to say anything to her, I'd be kicked out that Man Club. And it's a strong thing, man. When a boy is growing up, it's a really strong thing. Anyway, that was my fun memory.
Oh, that's sweet. And also, oh, and oh, all at the same time. Um, a favorite memory with my father. Actually, I mean, I actually have a few when I think about it, but I think, and it's funny because memory is a funny thing. It starts to get really wonky after the fact. It's not, it becomes what you think it was and not what it necessarily was. But what's pieced together in my mind um, is me going with my father. And I remember saying this to him one day, and he's like, "Oh, you remember that?" Going with him to the lumber yard. I was very much a daddy's girl up until I was about 6 or 7, and then when we joined the nation, he kind of find his way into this man's club, if you will, and he was gone. Like it was like you would have thought like he left the house, like you thought I had no father after that, but it was necessary for his growth. But up until about 6, I was with my father. And on this particular day, we lived in Brooklyn, New York, and we were going to the lumber yard because he was getting some lumber. He wanted to build a coffee table. And I'm the oldest, and I just, everything my father, who got me into health and fitness, everything, almost everything I do, I'm very much like him. And I remember being there, having on these yellow shorts and some red sneakers or something. I don't know. I feel like I look like a stop sign, but I just remember us going there. I remember us getting, my father's family is from the Bahamas. He was born here, but his parents were from there. I remember us getting fresh sugar cane from some place that was close by, and it was just me and him. Like, my sister was at home, my brother wasn't born yet. And I remember eating the sugar cane and just getting this wood and going back home with my dad, and just like, just like helping him kind of like put together this table, and just handing him the nails and just being really involved, in that whole process. And it was a really nice, he shellacked it. I think I helped him shellac it, but I have those memories that I have before the age of like 6 and down of my dad I think are the memories that carry me through, from ages 17 to like mid 30s, when things took a turn. But I think that's my favorite memory of him. I'm a call him later and tell him that is that going with him to the lumber yard and building that coffee table with him and having the whole fresh, real sugar cane. Yeah, thank you for that, Tina.
Can I say something, Maisha? This just makes me kind of sad. It's funny because, we say Fun Friday, and it's like the conversations today are going up and down, and it just like breaks my heart to think my daughter's relationship with her father is so bad. Thinking about my memories, and then like you were saying how your father, you went to the lumberyard. I remember my father was a construction worker, and I remember putting up the wallpaper in his house. And even though my daughter's about to turn 30 years old, she still reaches out for his love. And, it's just like, what do you think my dad would think? What do you think my dad would do? And it's just like, and I've even called him, you know how I am. I'm like lit. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? And it's just like, he's cold, and I don't know. So I guess I just have to wrestle with that. And, I wish she had a good memory, but I don't even want to ask her. Do you think should I converse with her about this? Like, ask her thoughts? Or is that just like,
You want to converse with her in some way, or have someone converse with her in some way, because I'm being very heteronormative here because that's the lane that I live in. Okay. For boys, their first relationship is their mother. For girls, their first relationship is their father. And those relationships often set the tone for what we look for and or try to run from in our relationships. So if we look back over, and I can see people now like, if we look back over the patterns of the relationships that we've been in, we can see how that may correlate to that relationship. And that's not because it's Freudian. It's just, that's your example of what that is, or what you should expect from that person. And the reason why I say it's important to converse with her about it is because if not, then she may find herself in relationships with men similar to her father, trying to correct that relationship, right? If I'm with this guy, then I can get him to love me like my father didn't. Or she may find herself in relationships where she becomes that person. So she's the cold one, right? And he's the giving one. So she gets to play that role instead to kind of take back the power, if you will. So it could be none of those, but it's important to have the conversations anyway, so that whatever the feelings are processed and not just glossed over.
Maisha, thank you so much for that. And that's why I say it's so good to have this space. And I agree with you. Someone else should talk to her, because when I get to talking, I'm just like, but
I'll just say this. You don't need to be talking to him about their relationship anymore at all. She's 30. If there needs to be a conversation, she needs to be the one initiating it. And if she's not, then she's not. But as the mom at this point, you can't.
Well, she has several times, like they've had ups and downs, but like she was in a low point. You remember when I went to California, and I'm like, I'm concerned about her. I'm worried. Like it was serious, and he did nothing. But then he'll see her in a TV commercial. Oh, my daughter did this. My daughter did that. So I have to act like you said. And guys, it's funny when Trish says, it's funny my daughter has such a good relationship with her father. I find no man seems good enough for her. Aw. And you can put your picture up. You have been doing great. Loving this space in here, guys. Maisha, Maurice, did you want to tap into that, what I said here? Any options? Any adds to that?
I got to agree with Maisha on that one. First, when you first explained it, I was saying to myself, what's his number? I want to call this brother. But I don't know where that coldness could come from, man.
Maurice, he told me when we broke up, she was 4, her brother was born, because my father died, and after that, I didn't want anything. He said, if I cannot be with you, Tina, I don't want to be a part of the kid. Wasn't. So.
Yeah, that's deep.
Oh, he's still hurt over the relationship.
Yes. Yeah. So in opposition to what Maisha said, maybe you do need to call, because maybe that's
you have some pull.
Yeah. Something.
I agree. See, having all that information is important.
Back to the highlights. Dr. J, can we hear the story of your beautiful daddy? Your beautiful daddy.
Yeah, I'm hoping
on
that
YouTube, Tina, even on YouTube, you'd be like, okay, next. All right, we're running
I
out
know,
the
right?
door.
I'm hoping that I don't.
You sound clear to us. You sound
we
clear
can
to
hear
us.
you.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I have several, and very much like you, Tina, my dad was a smoker. He actually died when he was 44 of lung cancer. But we had and as you guys know, I've been on my own since I was 15. And so I have those early memories. And the thing that comes to mind for me, and he was an amazing man. The thing that comes to mind to me is when he used to watch TV. He really loved Kojak, and he loved Hill Street Blues and shows like that. And when they would come on, he would just have his drink in his den, his man cave, and he would call me and he would say, come on, it's coming on. And he would pat the area next to him, and I would sit next to him, and he would just pull me close, and we would watch that program, and he would laugh. I mean, he was so engrossed, but he had me right there. And every moment I could feel the vibration of him moving and laughing and enjoying what he was doing in that moment with his drink or whatever. And every now and again, he would just reach down and kiss me on the forehead. And he was a good guy. So I just really, that's my moment. And he did that very often. It was like a weekly thing until it wasn't, but yeah. So yeah, that's my memory.
That was beautiful.
Oh, that reminded me of another one, man. Because it's my love of music. Well, music and spirituality. Because my father's very esoteric. He's into numerology, so that's why I'm like this. And he understands me better than my mom does. Sorry, Mom. But it's the love of music, right? Because my father listened to everything from the Beatles to the Grateful Dead to the Last Poets to Al Jarreau, Miles Davis, and so that spectrum was him and Black history, And so I remember LA Law. You just made me remember this. LA Law was this show that used to come on NBC. And when that show came on, like the theme music, this is when shows had real good theme music, right? And it's like, as soon as it was coming on, it's like, dun, 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 dun. My father would like turn up the television.
Yeah.
He would, like, sometimes put the tambourine out, and all of a sudden would dance into the LA Law theme song. It's like, yeah. And it was cool in a way, like with Maurice, because it came on at like 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And so we watched like TV late, with my dad, which was like a big thing. So thank you for that, Dr. J.
Look at her face. I'm going to share what Shelly wrote here. Shelly says, my dad had a music room in a room above my head. I'd go to sleep most nights hearing him play music on his reel-to-reel. There were so many, but there was a constant comfort. Oh, thank you for sharing, Shelly. And over here I say, Trish, she says, it's great that the father-daughter relationship is so good. We are still a strong family unit, but I think it makes it difficult, high expectations, looking for perfection. Thank you, Trish. Thank you, Trish. Throwing it back to you, Dr. J, on this beautiful Friday.
Man, this has been some great conversation about Father's Day and Black men and Black history and whatnot, and our experiences as men and women. And I'm telling you guys, I'm just, first of all, my cheeks just from smiling. And man, it really does cause me to think about how I behave in relationships. And I love all men, but I only deal with Black men. So that's something when Maurice said, I'm going to let him lead or be the man. I got to work on that, because let me tell you something. I've been leading this for a long time. But yeah, so.
Maurice, you have any tips for the women that are leaders that are having a little difficulty leading / as like Dr. J was saying, like letting a man lead, but not letting him lead? And do you understand what I'm trying to say, y'all?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Don't tell anybody. I'm telling just y'all in this room. Don't tell anybody I'm saying this. When he comes into your life, you won't have a problem having him take charge. Period.
I agree with that. I do.
That just made my body do some things. Okay.
Look, my head is like, okay, going to those moments where I get it, Maurice, because there have been a select few who I'm like, okay, here are the keys to the kingdom, but just a select few. So, and I think at the time, Maurice, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. It was just like, I don't know what this, I'm not ready for that. So, yeah.
And the same with us. There is a woman that when we meet her, something clicks in us that will make us take that position and assume that position. And we'll give her the keys. It's like, whatever you want, I'm here for you. I got whatever. But it's being open enough for both of us, men and women, to recognize that and to be able to see that other spirit and look beyond the face or the body or the whatever and see that spirit and be like, damn.
Oh, talk that talk.
That's the word.
Yes,
but there's so much noise and crap that it's hard for us to see.
That's where that healing work comes in, so that we can, as I tell people, it's like cleaning your mirror so that you can see clearly, because that person is a reflection of you in that way. And if you're not clear, that's what you're going to get, And a lot of us weren't ready, especially when we were younger, of the age where people tell us we're supposed to be wanting to get married. We're not ready at all. And I've told my children very clearly, I don't even want you thinking about marriage, not doing it, thinking about it in that way until you're in your late 20s, early 30s. There's some work that needs to be done. There's some adulting that needs to happen. there's you need to see how you're moving in the world. I got married way too young and wasn't thinking about it at all, to be honest with you. But if they're going to enter into something like that, or into a serious relationship like that intentionally, there needs to be some maturity that comes along with that, because it's way too young. And then we can't see it when it's in front of us. I completely agree.
Love it, love it, love it. I guess we can do a final reset since we're starting to come towards the top of the hour. If you guys did not know, we are here in Clubhouse, also on Dr. Jamesia's YouTube channel, which gives you a little bit of everything. And I don't know if she's going to say it, but if you're on YouTube, can you bring that book closer, Dr. J? I love that book in the background. If you guys look, I have her other book back here, the one with the girls.
Oh, my.
Muscle. Yes. These are Dr. J's journals, guys. Now, the one right there you just had, well, I like the black girl. I like the white girl too.
Listen, these right here are for my nurse practitioner students. So they're specific to nurse practitioners. And my students are Black and they're white. So I have both. But my other planners are actually geared towards mental health in African American people. So I'll show you guys a couple of those. You guys can keep talking. I'll be right back.
Yes, I love that one. Can that be? I'm just asking.
Yeah.
So the one you had there with the black girl, can we have one like this for that? This is hers also, guys.
Hold on. What do you mean?
So the cover,
you mean
the cover? I love that cover.
You mean her?
Yeah, because I'm gonna run out soon, and that's gorgeous.
Thank you. No, these are only the nurse practitioner editions.
I guess that's a no. Okay. Maisha's like, yes. So guys, at the top, you see that link. We are on YouTube. We are loving the YouTube. We have a special guest today, guys. Maurice is just dropping the gems. I think we need him like at least once or twice a month, because he's giving us the man's secrets. Kind of like, who was that comedian, Maisha? And he was like, I'm going to tell you the stuff that what men really don't want to tell the world. Maybe it was Steve Harvey or one of those lot. No one has any idea?
Please don't say Steve Harvey.
Or maybe it was Bernie
he does
Mac.
not have gems. I'm saying live.
Maurice, who? You know how they're like, I'm about to tell you the man code.
I think you are referring to Steve Harvey. But yeah, I wouldn't bring him up.
Okay, I guess I got to do some reading. Anyway, welcome to the Fit, Healthy, and Blessed Club. It seems like we're here just every day, guys. We're loving it. Click that little greenhouse at the top because you're going to get everything. We are so authentic here. We are so real. We don't hold back at all. This is the 8 a.m. Cup of Motivation. We're here Monday through Thursday. Pop-ups on Fridays, giving you the motivation, inspiration, and education. Just want to thank everyone that is here now. Hey! Now that is a journal right there, Dr. J. I love the hair. Maybe I'll try that hairdo. Love it. So
these are just a couple.
Are the ones on the cover different? Is it hard? It looks like it's hardcover, yes? And how can they get them? I guess you can go to her Instagram.
Yeah, Von Capri.
Von Capri, and that's a picture of her name and her daughter's name, which is so beautiful. Yeah. Oh, I love. I'm just throwing this out there, Doctor. Okay, I'm throwing this out there. I know you have like 10 badillion things to do, but a lady that was in your room, she's named Yolanda, and she was saying how she does cards, like holiday cards for Black inspired. Shut up, Maisha. So if you wanted to throw something up, what are you trying to say, Maisha? Go ahead.
No, I was laughing at something Shelly wrote in the back. She wanted to hear my opinion on Steve Harvey.
I want to know too, but I'm gonna shut up. We'll get that in a second. But anyway, Dr. J, what about cards, like Father's Day cards, birthday cards, with your artwork, with your words? I think that's a whole nother stream of income and things you can do because it's so natural for you. I'm just thinking that right there. I'm gonna hush with that. But anyway, share the room as we come to the top of the hour. Looks like we're at 13 shares. We have 19 in here now. Can we all just do another share? And don't forget to clip the scissors. Maurice, I wanted to tag you because you said something amazing. It's on my Instagram, and I tagged you in it. So the scissors give you the last 30 seconds. This chat is popping up. Dee said, what is wrong? Gosh, everyone wants to know what's wrong with Steve. And Self-Care Maven doesn't like him either. Dr. J is still showing us photos there. You guys know this weekend he's having his boys camp. Steve Harvey, I'm talking about. All right, guys.
What do you
So
mean
in
what's
the
wrong with
comments-
I don't know
anything. Well, we're gonna get into Juneteenth / Steve Harvey throwing it over to Maisha. Get those clips ready. Now remember, everything you hear say, it's the opinions. Maurice got something to say too. He's rubbing his head. It's the opinion of the person, you know, those, help me out, the PSAs they say on TVs. What you're about to hear are the thoughts and opinions of the person.
The thoughts and opinions that you are about to hear are not those of the 8 a.m. Cup of Motivation or the Fit, Healthy, and Blessed Club, but of the individual who is saying them.
Oh, she's awesome. I love her.
I'm not
Steve
gonna-
Harvey, Juneteenth, wherever you want to go with it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna look. I don't know Steve Harvey, and he's built a great empire on what he does, and so I admire his business and his work ethic. I did not read his book. I did see the movie. I have a difficult time there with men who are trying to tell women how they need to be women. I don't think that women should tell men how they need to be men. I think it's great to hear from a man's point of view how women are viewed from a man's point of view, but to say things like you need to wait 90 days or he's not going to respect you is a no to me. That's an absolute no to me. And I think that kind of thinking and what that whole thing did was create more of what we spoke about in the beginning of this, where Black women were like, ha ha, I've got the secret codes to what's happening. And dudes are like, what is going on here? Like it was a lot of game playing. And I'm a believer in honesty. I don't think there needs to be any game playing that happens whatsoever. Just be honest. And if dude is not for you, he's not for you. But this idea that we have to play a role to snag a man, I'm not for that. I'm not for it at all. If you have to play a role, you haven't snagged a man. You just got a puppet. And eventually the real you is going to come out and bruh is going to be like, what the fuck is this? So no, I am not a fan of, hey, you know, one of the reasons why other dude who just passed away, I didn't give him too much time a day either, you know, had built his whole empire off of all of the ways that Black women need to change and all the things they need to do and everything that they're doing wrong. I'm not a fan of that. It puts a lot of pressure on us to have to shift and change. I was just saying this last night, same thing with sex. Everybody wants to know about why, you know, I can't have sex this way. I need to have sex that way. Is my vaginal canal broken? What's going on? Why do I need to shift? I need to change that. I need to make sure I squirt. I need to make sure no one is coming to men saying all of these things. It's always like what women need to do this, do that. You'll get a man. Do this, do that. You'll have an orgasm. Do this, do that. I'm not a fan. And guess what? Men aren't asking all of that of us, to be honest with you. Men are not asking all of that of us. That's my issue with, not my issue with Steve Harvey. It was with that particular book and all that it was saying, that 90-day rule. It's just a crock. If you want to sleep with him, girl, sleep with him. Okay? If you're not sleeping with somebody because you want to get respect, then you don't put your value in the wrong spot. That's all I'm going to yield the mic.
Maurice looks like he wants to talk. Maurice.
Yeah, my man card's going away after today. I think, you know, I was a big fan of the Steve Harvey show. Big fan, huge. Loved it. Loved the show. But my problem with him goes back a really long time. It goes back to when he first started the radio show. I'll never forget it. I was driving up 295, going to BWI and listening to his show. And there was nephew Tommy or whoever it was. And there was a woman on his show co-hosting. I can't remember who that was, but he had said something to her and he said, "What?" to her reply. And he acted out as though he was hitting her on air. You heard rustling of papers and microphones and stuff like that. And you heard some sounds like he was hitting her. And that completely turned me off from him. And then once I heard that, you know how I'm sure I'm not the only one who kind of blindlessly scrolls through TikTok or Instagram videos. And there are a lot of those videos that come out of him on Family Feud. And there was one particular one when his wife was on there. And so the question was something like, who would you like to have in the bedroom or something? And she said, the pool boy. And he turned to her like he could have smacked or punched her on stage. He gets, you know, he got that look in his face, right? So my issue is when you have a platform like you do, and you're a Black man, and you use it to perpetuate a persona that can be detrimental to Black men and Black women, I got nothing for you, man. I got nothing for you. That book that they made into a movie, Act Like a Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady, whatever it was. Why didn't you make a book directing it to Black men? Why? And I got nothing for the brother. I'm sorry.
That was my point too. Like all this right here, and you could have done you could have done so much more for us if you had, for the women, if you really wanted to help the ladies, you could have really written a book like, "Bros, these are the mistakes I made. Don't do this," because we all know Steve Harvey's mistakes are out in the public. Here are the things you can do. Here are the ways you can grow as a man. But no, you write a book about how women need to act like a lady but think like a man. Like, you want us to think like men? No.
Here's the ways you can grow as a man. That's it right there.
I just want to throw devil's advocate out there. No response. I'm sure he did the best he could. He, in his mind, he just wanted to help. He wanted to, from his life experiences, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I remember saying 90 days myself, when that book came out. But I just think he was doing his best. So that's all I had to say about that.
We all are. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't. You're not muted. You got to mute. Yeah, like that's what I said. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't know the man personally, so I can't sit here and say, I don't like when people do that. I don't like that person. I don't know you. I have no idea, right, who you are. And you've built a great business empire. So that's wonderful. And you do a lot for the community. My issue was with that particular book and movie. And to Maurice's point, like, if you're in that position, you have the ability to really help men grow into their manhood the way you did, versus, ladies, let me give you game on how to deal with dudes. I think that was the easy road. That was the easy road to, because we're always going to consume that material as women. We're always looking for somebody to tell us how to get a man. Ladies, please stop. But we're always looking for that. It would have been a harder road to create a book for men or a movie for men around how they could be men. That would have been a more difficult road, but it would have been far worth it for us, I think, more as women in the end if he had done that. But I didn't mind watching, Michael Ealy or whatever his name was on stage cooking for Taraji P. Henson. I mean, a man who can cook. I don't care about his eyes. I don't like that. I like regular. But I'm just a man who can cook for me is, yeah. All right.
Loving it. If anyone here on Clubhouse would like to share, raise your hand if you want to unmic and contribute to the conversation, because we're coming towards the top of the hour. We were talking about Father's Day and great men, a little bit about Juneteenth, which led to Steve Harvey. Maurice gave us a lot. Is that another link you wanted there, Maurice? Did you put?
I want to speak to Harvey. I just thought it was entertainment. I thought it was just another way to promote his book and to make money, which is what he does. I think he does a lot for the community, and I think he does have like a boys camp or whatever where he develops men and boys. Now, I don't think I want to crucify him for the rest of his existence for making a bad mistake. And I just think that that was a business move on his part. He's always doing things to make money. I mean, he's a businessman, and I don't fault him for that. Oh, there's the link. Oh, that's okay. Gotcha. I want to see that. How can I copy that? Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about it.
In the clubhouse streets, if you
I
join
did
the
want
link
to
up,
read the
So let me ask you this. Ask you this.
Ask me.
Again, like Maisha said, I don't know the brother. I can just speak on what I know, right? So this boys camp where he develops boys, by what paradigm? You know, by what socialization is he developing Black boys in this camp? I've never been. I don't know. But if it's anything like his public persona, that book, the other things that he does, I got to question what boys are coming out of that. You know, conversely, if Barack Obama created a camp to develop Black boys, I kind of know the kind of men that would come out of that. I can't speak to that in that same light to what would come out of Steve Harvey's camp. I don't know. I can only go by his public persona.
What would you like to come out of it?
Some strong, enlightened, self-reflective, mature Black men.
And how? Like, what would you like to see? What would the curriculum kind of look like? What would your first steps be for something like that?
First step would be your manhood ain't between your legs. Your manhood is between your ears. Your manhood is in the center of your chest. Well, it's not really the center, but I'm not medical, but that's where your manhood comes from. Your manhood comes from character, not a weapon, not how many women you have under your belt. It comes from your character. So my camp would be developing that character, developing trust between one another. You know, there's a lot of distrust, not only between Black men and Black women, but between Black men. There's a whole lot of distrust. It would be a development. There would be meditation. There would be intelligence, vocabulary. There would be a development of who they are as people. We talked about fetishization of Blackness. It's deeper than that. We are such powerful and mighty beings. I would want to teach them who they really are. Don't be afraid of it. Accept it and be who you are meant to be.
two things I want to share. One, I actually know someone who actually has, thank you for that, Maurice. Very, very good. Very, very good. I just texted her because the camp is actually happening this weekend, ironically, that we're talking about it. And he also gifts the mother a weekend getaway. So it's this weekend. I just texted the mom that I know who has a son there. And I said, can you give me some details on exactly what you guys are doing and send me photos so that we know? And then another question I have for you, Maurice, and I love you like cook food, even though we never met. What are you doing to change and help and support young men?
Well, I got to say, my initial response is going to be nothing, or was going to be nothing. But I do a lot as far as creativity goes and developing the arts and technology in younger people. A lot of it is done through work. A lot of it is done through colleagues that I know. But have I ever been a big brother? No, because that's not who I am. I'm not going to do something just to do it if I know it's not in my heart to do. I can, there's an old African proverb. I'm not even sure if it's truly an African proverb, but the best way to show a man his stick is crooked is to lay a straight stick down beside his. And so I've tried to live my life that way, as an example of what others could strive to be. I've done that. I've been very vocal and very visible in the kind of things that I do. But if I set up a program, if I've been a big brother, no. So that's what I'm doing.
Thank you for that. The reason why I asked that question, Maurice, is because I've been running this boys program for 6 years now. And when it first started, I can't tell you how many I had, perhaps because it was fresh, it was murder, and I want to help, I want to support. And I found the men were amazing when they first started, but then it kind of dwindled off. I don't know if it's that they got tired. I don't know if it was like, oh, we got Coco in the building.
Hello.
We got some people coming
Good
through. We
morning.
got some people coming through.
Good morning.
So yeah, I got brain freeze because I'm like trying to do 10,000 things at once right here. I want to hear from Coco since she's here. But yeah, Maurice, if you want to support, I can always use some help with my boys. I don't know if it can be like a virtual thing, maybe once a month. Look at Coco. You look good, girl. You look good, girl. But I'm going to throw it back to Dr. J. I'm loving the room, guys. Dr. Jamisia, the nurse practitioner extraordinaire. Pow. Oh, I was going to show the people on Clubhouse, but I forgot they can't see.
Well, real quick, I'd love to, Tina. We'll talk. I would love to.
Yeah, so thank you for coming up, Coco. I don't know if you've been following the conversation, but the last little bit of what we've been talking about is Steve Harvey, his book, how he's showing up, the way that he kind of manipulated, I guess, the topic or the black man and woman relationship, how women need to play the game and all this and all that. Were you able to hear any of that, or did you hear any of the conversation that's been going on this morning? And you look amazing.
Thank you. I heard part of that and I heard Maisha's take on it. But before that, I heard your stories about your fathers. And so it made me think of a story about mine and my fondest memory of my father. So if you don't mind me tapping in on that first. But, I'm a big daddy's girl and I love my dad. Big, long time. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll kind of see my journey in cannabis through him, with him. But one of my fondest memories of my father is that my father went back to college when I was born, when I was a little girl, maybe I was 2 or 3. And I vividly remember my dad being at a desk in our house with a light and my wanting to be with him. And I would climb, walk up to his chair and look at him and literally demand that he take me up in his arms while he studied. And so, he worked the post office. He actually retired from the post office, but he went to college while he was working for the post office. And after a long day of carrying the mail, he would, go to Cal State Northridge to get his degree and come home and study and have to study. But I hadn't had any time with him. And I just, relish in the comfort and the support I had with him, carving out time to study and hold me. And for the most part, my relationship with my father has kind of gone along that way, from there forward. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and happy Father's Day to the mothers who are fathers too. And or have to play both roles, I'm not even just saying, I don't know. Anyway, okay. Anyway, the point is, about the Steve Harvey rules and such. I don't
really quick, Coco. Shelly's talking about the topic. Shelly says, as a publicist and manager, I'm going to tell him to go for sales and reach. It's just entertainment. But is it? He invests in men in many ways.
I'm supposed to comment on that. Sure. I mean, he's an entertainer. He's making money. And quite honestly, if I was his publicist, I would tell him to keep talking out keep talking. However, I do believe that, as people, we read that entertainment, and, I don't know if it shifts anything in our culture, quite honestly, because I think that many women prior to Steve's, showing up on the scene carried similar guidelines for each other. It's not a good thing to sleep with someone right away. Like, these are general, like, I think that there are not any rules that were, that people didn't recognize prior to. Maybe more people aware of them and followed them, but I don't know. I mean, he's an icon. I don't know how deep the impression of his work, how much that I'm not sure of the true impact of that, or if it was favorable or not. So I don't know. I like Steve Harvey. He tells good jokes. I would love to meet him. I would love to ask him for gobs of money for young Black men and women in Skid Row. I'd love to meet him. And I love what he's doing. People are reading, people are reading. So, so yeah, that's what I have to say about that. But thank you for bringing me up, Dr. Jamisi, and I'm so glad to see all of you here on talking about Juneteenth. And I kind of came in on the conversation about kind of the trauma that we carry from our ancestors related to our experience in the Americas as Africans. And one of the things that when I came to understand that and saw how peculiar it showed up in our behaviors, one of the things I also had to be reminded is that, and I don't know if there are studies around it, but although trauma can be carried, through our DNA, so can the victories. So can the power to transform things. So can other powers. So, my greatest hope and expectation is that as we pass our DNA on to the next, that our primary job is to heal that mess up and carry it forward, whether by deed or in our DNA structure. Because if we can carry trauma, then we can pass a blessing on. We can pass on immunity, right, over certain issues. And I think that that's a wonderful opportunity for all of us.
Amen. Amen. Have feedback.
So as Dr. J focuses on,
I had to move my phone. So yeah, so I know that a couple more people want to come up, and hopefully they've gotten the link. But I did want to say Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers, and to Coco's point on Steve Harvey. Yes, he is. This is, look, like we say, infotainment on this channel. Same with him. Although there is a responsibility when you do become a public figure. And I think that he's trying to walk in that the best that he can. But I do believe that it's also, what we need to do in our small hemisphere of people that we affect, men, women we affect, and how we walk this walk too. So we have that responsibility as well. And I think we're doing a good job. We're doing a good job. I mean, for the people that we affect. So that is my share.
Dr. J, did you think back in December when we started doing this room that I had no idea that it would be like this. I didn't even know much about Clubhouse. I was like, just want to do a room just for fun. And look where we are today. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's amazing. I believe that there are no coincidences. And yeah, I did see that this could be a thing. I just didn't know exactly how it was going to play out. And how long it was going to go. But yeah, absolutely did see it. And I love what's happening and the dynamics of the people that I'm meeting here and connecting with. So yeah, I don't think there are any coincidences. I don't know what we're going to do together that's going to be great and amazing, but I know it's there, and I don't think it's going away. And I think we have the responsibility to take the connections that we are making and move them forward to the betterment of our people. So yeah.
Dr. J, I want to pour into what you just said when you said us doing something together. I love the fact that individually, at least I am anyway, learning, we're getting, we're building empires here. For example, how we're getting a lot of YouTube information from you and Maisha, and Maurice is just like total different lane where, like you said, right now I feel we're each building, and then at some point, who knows when, or what, it's going to be something huge if we just stay focused and make, this wasn't, well, it was planned a little bit, but it's getting there. So I appreciate that. I would love to hear from the others. What are your thoughts on that topic? Maisha, all of it, please.
What are my thoughts on what are we doing? Where are we going? I don't think I have. Yes. I don't know what else to say to that. Just yes.
Can I just offer that I'm so proud of all of you, and especially my bestie, Dr. Jamesia, who is my sister, really. And to think that, number one, that during COVID, she called me and told me she was going to start doing some YouTubes about nurse practitioner and then it was, I'm going to hit this point. And during the course of COVID, she launched this YouTube, grew an audience. And then I said, have you heard about this Clubhouse thing? You should get on it. Like, here, I'm going to send you the link. Somebody sent me this in February. Go on, get on there. I think it's a good thing. She gets on,
And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And you were like, you better do it.
And just to think, like, to witness the eternal bloom of my friend, right, of my sister, it's encouraged me. I think it's encouraging, the ripples of the encouragement have yet to cease. And even for all of you and, the folks in the 8 a.m. Cup of Motivation, it's really a wondrous thing to witness. And I do think that we're in a new age of how we make connections, how we sustain connections, and how we grow partnerships. And I see this as being on the cutting edge of what the beginnings of that will produce. And so I encourage you, and I'm so, proud of all of you, so proud of the Black Girl Magic that's showing up in here, your goddesses to me. And I'm just appreciative to be in your company, and I'm excited about what's to come.
And guys, if you are in the Clubhouse, just know it's fire here on YouTube. And Dr. J, Tonya has just been so consistent, so motivating, coming to the 8 a.m. I was like, girl, do you want to come through? Because she's just writing in the chat. I can't see this. I got the YouTube here. I got the private chat here, the regular comment. It's hot. So I was like, come on through. So thank you so much. You look so beautiful, Tonya. She was real in for the Steve Harvey. I don't know what she wants to share. If it's Steve Harvey, Juneteenth, Father's Day, go girlfriend.
We haven't even started talking about
Juneteenth. Welcome. I know we haven't. Okay, listen. Maurice, how much time do you have?
Who, me?
Maurice, 1 second.
I took today off.
Oh, look at me.
Oh, we got him all day. We got him all day.
Y'all can have me for as long as you want me.
You can't say that to Maisha. She's going to turn it around.
Listen. Okay. I've been good today.
Oh, Lordy. Okay. Well, thank you for that, Dayton. We just want to make sure we're respectful of everybody's time. And I know Coco is busy too. So just let me know if you guys need to pop out and you want to say something before we end up ending the room. But hey, Tonya. Hey, girl. Hey, you look amazing.
Thank you. And so I'm glad to finally see everybody and wave. But this is fun. You guys had me rolling today. I have to confess, I was rolling. I have my own thoughts on Steve Harvey. I will keep them to myself. I think Maisha said enough. So I'm going to leave it there.
Turn your Clubhouse down or off so you're getting feedback. What are your thoughts on Father's Day? Like a memory with you, they would turn your volume all the way off or something like that.
Is it off now or is it still giving feedback? Okay.
Well, Tonya, well, now you came on the stage because of the Steve Harvey topic. What you mean you're not going to share your thoughts? Ma'am?
Well, before that, when I saw that movie, I wasn't comfortable about that. And I'd seen him I think was he part of that crew, the Kings of Comedy or something like that?
Of course, girl, that's the best.
Girl, he was the king of comedy.
Yeah, but he would always
For
came
Bernie
off
Mac.
as kind of crass, and I always try to give him the benefit of the doubt. But as time has gone by, I'm just like, really, you could have done so much more than going in that direction. And, the more I have conversations with women, particularly women of color, that, even more, that's a turnoff for me because, it's always, you're dead if you do and dead if you don't. When a lot of instances when it comes to, Black women and, what they have to carry, what they have to do, how they have to pack themselves, how they have to, it's all about, to me, is control. And I don't do control well at all. I remember I almost went into the military till I figured out that control thing was not going to work for me. So, I just, to me, it's counterproductive. There's a lot that needs to happen, quote unquote, in the community in terms of rectifying things. And I don't think that's the direction you want to go. Black women have work to do, get therapy. And, Black men there's work we can do collectively, but there's also work you have to take responsibility to do in your own sector. It's one thing to talk about your trauma and all of that and how things get passed along. But at what point do you say, I'm not going to carry this no more? So that's kind of where I'm at. And I don't think that Steve Harvey's input or to be honest, any of the other Black male comedians in the spotlight have done anything for the Black community or for Black male-female relationships in general. So I don't want to get too far up on my soapbox.
Hold on.
I don't know, but laughing sure does help me.
But nothing though, like zero. I don't know about zero, Tony. Only because, oh man,
She said what she said.
she did. She said what she said. I'm getting feedback. But yes, I'm not sure I fully agree. I don't say nothing. I think that we definitely need to have Black men be seen, even on camera, even if it is telling jokes. It's just a different light. They're not on the street corner. I'm from California, so we see a lot of Black men doing a lot of things. And I would prefer that over that. So, that's all I'm saying. But I do appreciate what you said.
Can I say something completely off topic? I've been in rooms with y'all for how many months? And this is probably only the second time I've seen everyone. Y'all's skin as a photographer, as a Black man, y'all's skin is just...
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Coco, I think we might be related or long lost something. I don't know if you can see the freckles, but
Yes. We probably are. You're from Maryland by way of where?
I'm actually from Ohio. Grew up, born and raised in Ohio. Yeah.
Okay. No, my people are from the South by way of St. Louis and then here. And some from Texas and across the border. So
I got you.
No. But thank you.
Thank you. That's so sweet, Maurice.
Very
You always
sweet.
have nice things.
That's that Black don't
Thank
cry.
you.
That's what that is. Thank
Yeah,
you very
y'all,
much.
Probably need to do a room. Like, how do you get that? I know water's part of it. I know that. But how does it, because it's not just black don't crack. It's lifestyle and diet and hydration and all that. So
And
ideas for
skincare.
them. Yeah. Yeah.
So there is a trick. It's not one that I'm using right now because I'm Maurice's face.
I already know.
Maurice and Tina. Like, I don't want to hear this.
And mine and Coco. Coco was like,
Look, Tony's like. So semen can actually assist women in having tighter skin and less wrinkles because of the protein and the sugars that exist in it. Remember, they also use some of this for stem cell research, right? So semen can actually assist the skin in looking younger. I just wanted to put that out there. It's a thing.
It's
What
the hottest
proof
beauty
do you
project.
have?
It's the hottest new beauty thing.
so how are we using this? Topically,
You know.
injecting-
Fresh.
Why are you trying to act like you don't know?
Fresh from the
people.
spout.
For the
Fresh
people.
from the spout. You put it on.
Tony, like, I
I
can't believe I
came
came up here.
Do you let it sit, Maisha, and then get like that white coat, or
I have the vegan version here.
But in all seriousness, like you mentioned about stem cell research, there's DNA in there, right? There's DNA. There's all kind of. It is the life force, right? So
It
there's
is.
so many things in there.
Yes. It is good to ingest. It is good for skin.
so Maisha? I guess I'd rather it on my face than in me. That might, I think that's better because yeah. Yeah,
Don't make me play Earth, Wind, Fires on.
Don't make you play what?
Earth, Wind, and Fire is on your face. It's from the what album is that? Spirit album.
All right, well, let me go to Spotify right now so I can save that for later. Thank you.
On the Spirit album, I must get that. I know the song.
Shelly
On your
said-
face. I mean, Spirit album is like probably my favorite album.
Guys, we must be going wild. Shelly came off of mic. What did you say, Shelly?
I said that you guys got to get Tina under control. She's talking crazy talk again.
I'll talk about his better on you than in you.
It doesn't taste good.
And look, I used to be one of those people that was like, you gotta swallow. It's probably TMI for, I don't know. But anyway, some people don't like the texture. And that's fine. There are ways, if it is a desire of a woman to do that, there are ways to get around that. If you're interested, I'm happy to tell you.
Maisha, funny story. I remember the first time I did, I was so happy. I was like, I did it! I was so excited.
So listen, are we still talking about skincare?
I mean, well, it's all like Maurice said, it's an inside out job, right? So it really
I
all.
was gonna also offer that perhaps that glow, the inner glow, comes from, women who pursue their desires and who are fulfilled in their own lives in other ways and being themselves, being their whole selves. So that's perhaps where it comes to, in addition to any of the other products and care that we put on it, it's because we love ourselves, right? And we're unapologetically walking authentically in who we are. I think that's the fountain of youth.
Cannabis also helps with skincare.
And cannabis does a thing.
Aloe vera gel as well.
Maisha, can you talk to us about this fasting thing? Before the room, I was starving. I took a Dr. Jamesia drink. I was good, but I'm starting to get hungry again. Is today the 24 hours or tomorrow? Because it's tough.
Today is right. So no, today we're fasting till 12. And then you can eat until 8 p.m. From 8 p.m. for the next until Saturday morning, it's going to end up being, because he said 24 hours, but that'll take you to Friday, 8 p.m. So you're going to continue then into Saturday morning.
From Friday evening, Friday morning to Saturday. Saturday morning.
Or is
Did I
it?
get that wrong?
No,
No.
that is so that is correct. You can eat Friday morning, but what time Friday morning are you going to be eating? So if you need to still eat Friday morning, that's fine, but don't eat Friday morning at like 7 or 8 a.m. You still want to eat Friday morning at like 9 a.m. and then you can fast until 24 hours until Saturday at 9 a.m. if you have to eat that Friday morning.
Today is Friday.
Today is Friday? Oh, well then, yeah, we're on it. Yeah, we're here. This is it, y'all.
Okay, so
Thank you for reminding me.
let me get this. I put in the back channel. So we should have eaten early this morning. That's what you're saying. If we wanted to eat today, we should have eaten already. I see Dr. J, it doesn't matter, but whew. Someone help me out because I want to do the 24 hours. Is that today?
So do the 24 hours. Do the 24 hours.
So when can I eat? Tomorrow morning?
You gotta mute.
Oh.
So do the 24 hours. Look, y'all, sovereignty. I'm such a big believer in sovereignty. Okay. If you need to eat today, go eat. Okay. Eat from 12 to 8, just somewhere in there, wherever you're comfortable, do a 24-hour fast. That's it. Just keep it easy because the stress of trying to figure it out is going to throw your body off whack. Just keep it light. Just 24 hours, somewhere in the weekend. Fast.
Somewhere in the weekend, probably today. With that being said, guys, we have our ab challenge. I haven't done it once this week. I'm sorry, Carmel. I will do it. Has anyone done the ab challenge this week? Am I the only one?
I've done it twice. I've done it twice.
I get it, right? I get it. But it's available when you guys want to tune in. That's it.
I love it. Dr. J says she's
Can we
gonna
move
try
over
it.
to? Oh, sorry.
Talking about
So we can start wrapping up the room or the topic.
Juneteenth. That's a Maisha thing. Hold your belts. Quick recap as she gets it together. Get your waters. Get. You are in the Fit, Healthy, and Blessed Club. And today, as Dr. J drinks out of her 8 a.m. cup of motivation mug, does this look like me? It's supposed to look like me. We're about to talk about Juneteenth. I want us to share this in the hallways, guys, because I've learned a few things these past few days about Juneteenth and white people and Kwanzaa and, but today, shut up, Tonya. I see you over there, girl. But share the room in the hallways because it's about to be litty lit. We have 3 people who've done some clipping. I'm hushing. Maisha, we're ready for you, girl. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. Oh, also at the top, if you click that link, guys, you'll see us live. Please subscribe to this amazing human right here. She has a video. I don't know if Maisha's doing other things or what. Shelly, you want to share anything before we go? I thought I saw you on mic. No? All right. You're up, Maisha.
Sorry, that was my youngest son. He likes to talk to me still. All right. Look, y'all done made me the representative of the fasting of the Juneteenth. I'm like, what? I'm gonna share this spotlight with Maurice because I feel like he's got way more knowledge than I do for a variety. No, stop. Come on. No, don't do that. No, you were actually like there during civil rights stuff. So we should have a whole show about that and see what that's like. So Juneteenth is the celebration of when the last of the enslaved were notified that they were free, which that's what happened in 1865. The Emancipation Proclamation was actually signed in 1863. But of course, no one let the folks on the plantations know that. So it was when the soldiers from the North came on down and they freed them, it was June 19th. Juneteenth has been a celebration mostly in the southern areas. It trickled its way up to other spaces after a while. But it has since been signed into as a federal holiday. You all know how I feel about that. If you don't, I do not agree that Juneteenth needs to be a federal holiday because I think it gives time off to those who don't deserve time off for this day. So Juneteenth is this Sunday, which is also Father's Day. I personally ask that you do not, that you still celebrate the fathers. They are very important, and fathers do not get enough celebration, and men need that. They absolutely need those words of affirmation. They need to know whether we agree with it or disagree with it. This is what men need. And they need to know that they are valued, that they are respected, that they are loved, that they are needed, that they are wanted, that they are desired. And so please do not take away from their celebration. You can add into, but let that day still belong to them, because Juneteenth is always going to move around. Father's Day is always Father's Day. That is my personal ask for the men. And as a mother of 3 boys and 2 girls, and one day, you know, the boys may be fathers one day. So that is Juneteenth. As I've stated before, it is a holiday for, you know, those of us who are descendants of the enslaved. I hesitate calling it a holiday, but a celebration for us of the last of us who are freed. And so it is for us to come together. It is not a time for y'all to buy that Walmart ice cream. It is not a time for you to buy decorations from Target. It is not a time for you to give money to corporate institutions that
What
don't.
Walmart ice cream are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Walmart has a Juneteenth ice cream.
Mm.
Great value. Juneteenth ice cream with different colors in it, like a swirl, like a rainbow swirl.
Oh, okay. That's my first hearing that.
And there are also decorations on Amazon that you can find. Juneteenth decorations. Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, my family has always honored Juneteenth, because most of my family's from Texas.
Texas.
And so it's always been a thing for me, because they are very, very big on it, and very, very big on the celebration of it. And, you know, it's just not nothing new for me, but it's very new for a lot of people. So, yeah.
And, you know, my family is from Texas too. And in Texas, she always remembered celebrating Juneteenth. And in fact, you know, we have to go to a particular store here in Los Angeles that carries a certain type of red pop that they used to drink. And it's, you know, part of her memories. To me, it sounds like, for her, it was really like, you know, a family barbecue with all the favorite foods and all of that. And they knew that they were celebrating emancipation. She knew that that's what they were celebrating, but that's kind of how she grew up with it. And there are certain foods that she connects with it. So,
yeah, I didn't even hear about it until so many years ago, because in the North, it wasn't a thing, right? Which makes sense. It makes sense that in Texas, it would be a celebration. It, like I said, it has trickled its way up, but it wasn't something that, like, I knew the history, but I didn't know that it was celebrated, right? And I mean, if you're living in New York, you're not thinking about celebrating something that happened in Texas. But now that it's made its way across the United States, and everybody else is kind of, and in some ways I'm kind of like, I feel like it makes sense that people who are in Texas celebrate it. Like, I really feel like that makes sense. I'm not from Texas, and even I kind of feel some type of way. I would feel some type of way. It's like, you don't know nothing about what we had to go through down here, even though you're Black up in, you know, Pennsylvania. Now you getting a day off and you celebrating all this. Like, you just came on the scene. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think everything has to always be for everybody, you know, but if like, I feel like if Black folks really want to galvanize and get in on Juneteenth, then, you know, let's help strengthen some of the communities in Texas where it was a thing, right? Not just, you know, make it have somebody else's misery make our party when y'all are the ones who really need to be having the party, is how I kind of feel about it. So,
yeah. So sorry, Tina. Coco brought up the red soda, and it used to only be sold in Texas, right? And then they started selling it in other places, and it's supposed to represent the bloodshed during slavery, right? As well as red velvet cake and a couple other things. You know, there's Memorial Day, right? Which we commemorate those lost in battle. There's Veterans Day, where we celebrate those who served in the armed forces. Juneteenth to me should be a commemoration, shouldn't be a celebration. What we really should be celebrating is the Emancipation Proclamation. That's what we should be celebrating. But I thought of a really good analogy. You know how I like stories. So let's say you all got married. Everybody got married, right? 2 years later, your husband stops cheating. He's been cheating from day one to 2 years later. 2 years later, he stops cheating on you in this marriage. And instead of celebrating your wedding anniversary, you celebrate the day he stopped cheating. Does that make sense? For me, it's a great correlation to Juneteenth. We were freed with that emancipation, and we're celebrating the despicable nature of keeping the freedom from the slaves in Texas for 2 years. That's why I don't. Same reason why I don't celebrate July 4th. But that's my issue with it. I grew up in Oberlin, Ohio. Stopped on the Underground Railroad, Oberlin College, a whole bunch of stuff. So we celebrated growing up because I didn't know. But then I grew up and knew and figured that just is not the thing for me. So that's my issue with it.
Well, certainly it's for a commemoration, like for a memorial, certainly a place to put a rock, depending, no matter what side of it you're going to look at it from, because in due season, if you grow old enough, you'll get to see those different perspectives on it. I so see, what you're saying. And when I talk to mom, like I said, when I talked to my mom about it, because even though I knew there was Juneteenth, I'm not going to say that as I came up, I knew we'd be all going over to Big Daddy and Big Mama's house, and there was going to be all this. There was nothing that they did that said, we's free, or let's, pay homage to, us coming closer to full human rights in this country. None of that happened, but I think that, as an adult woman, it's certainly a place to put a cornerstone, a marker. It's an opportunity for discussion with our children, to share with others, to have the conversation. And I'm not mad about that. I think that the recognition of the document in the history of this country is just as significant as, selling the 4th of July, Independence Day. So it's worthy of a marker to be put there.
Yeah, I don't do 4th of July either. That's really, that holiday doesn't have anything to do with me. But yay for the day off.
I just wanted to jump in really quick, because I was thinking about when I first heard of Juneteenth, and I think it was, for me, is when all the Black Lives Matter was going on, and we were in COVID, because the yoga studio I used to work for, she says, Tina, we're going to be doing an all day of yoga in honor of Juneteenth. I'm wondering if it became popular because of COVID, everyone was stuck in the house, or because Black Lives Matter. I'm not really, all the stuff that was going on. I'm kind of tossed. I know last year I was I was working in a spin studio, and it was mostly, Caucasians, and I went overboard. My goal was to fill up the studio. We had 55 bikes. White people were like, what is this? I'm like, I pretty much was forcing it down their throats. We were selling t-shirts. I was like, come on, let's go. And so I'm just curious on your thoughts when you first found out, and do you think it was because of COVID or Black Lives Matter that it became more popular? And I say now, she said freaking Walmart, it's in, with the ice cream and that sort of stuff, and it wasn't there 3 or 4 years ago. What are your thoughts?
Well, it was always popular for Dr. Jamisi and Coco, right? For people who lived in Texas and who also lived in the South, it was a thing. So I'd heard about it, but it wasn't something that, it was a general thing that was happening here. As the Black Lives Matter, I have my own issues with all that anyway, as that, whatever that was, took shape.
That's another topic, another day.
Yeah, took shape. And then, it gathered momentum, and there was talk of Juneteenth and all of that. And then for the powers that be, I my personal opinion, as some way, because we can be an easily appeased people, easily appeased. Couple of signs painted on the grounds, and a couple of t-shirts and some armbands and a federal holiday, and everybody goes right on back to what they were doing. instead of continuing on with what's really happening. So it was signed into federal law and as a federal holiday. And that's when people were like, even some black people, what's Juneteenth? I don't know. And definitely white people were like, huh? So now an education needed to happen because now you have a whole new holiday and nobody knows exactly what it is. Folks in Texas are probably like, all right, cool. Yeah. Hey, but it picked up steam because the president decided to sign it into law. I can only make the assumption that it was signed into law so that folks would feel better after all of the horrific things that have been happening in 2020, the media attention that it garnered, and the pandemic was happening. And it's like, here, catch that. And hopefully folks will settle down a little bit. Does it change anything? Does it really, though? Are our libraries better? Are our schools better? Has it changed housing for anybody? Has it created a different wealth gap for folks? Are black men and women being paid more on the dollar now? I mean, I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, we don't know the ripple effect of anything, right? Really, we don't. But the awareness is different. Just like you said, I mean, for you, okay, you don't celebrate it. You think that the people in Texas or in the area should. But to me, because it's now a national holiday, I think it brings awareness. I think it brings up the fact that this is what goes on for real. Like, it's still going on. Things are still being hidden, because we just don't know. So when we do know, we know, and things begin to change. And it may not be huge, nothing we see right now, but even this conversation now, right? We don't know. So that's my take on it. That's just how things move. So,
That's a real good point, Dr. J. The ripple effect, we don't know. Because now every time somebody celebrates Juneteenth and someone says, what is that? Then they know that there was this deceitful event that took place. What that's going to do to help in the future, we don't know. But I agree with you there.
So yeah, and not you don't have to. Celebration. I guess the word for the celebration, commemoration, whatever that is, to whomever. We always, in our, from my remembrance, and June the 19th is my greatest aunt's birthday. We celebrated Aunt Esther Coco. That's her birthday. We celebrated that along with Juneteenth, the actual liberation of Black people in Galveston, Texas, and Texas in general. And Texas has had it as a state holiday for many, many years. And we're just, getting that. So, yeah.
Can I tell you an idea I have for a movie real quick?
Of course.
Anybody see The Fog? Old movie, 70s. So here's my idea for a movie. Ready? So if anybody out there is a screenwriter and wants to listen and steal this idea, just give me credit. So on Juneteenth, the enslaved Africans that were, or I should say the captured Africans that died in the Mid-Atlantic, Middle Passage, died in the Middle Passage. On Juneteenth, they all are resurrected and they come on shore to take their revenge on their slave masters and the slave masters' generations of relatives. And it happens on Juneteenth. They come on shore in where is it? Where the Gucci Gala? What is it? It's Georgia.
Hilton Head.
Oh, the Geechee people?
Yes, that's where they come ashore. And they come ashore and they spread from there. That's my idea. I don't know what it's called yet.
You need to pitch that to Jordan Peele because I'm sure.
Right?
the story. That's a good one.
Yeah, he could probably take that and run with that and make it something. I think.
Gullah
I like this
Geechee.
stuff.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, yes, Juneteenth is Sunday, so if you're going to be doing anything, please make sure that you at least understand the history of it, that you know what it is, that you so find a way to honor what the day meant versus just, especially if you have no particular involvement in it, find a way to honor the sacrifices of those people. Yeah, that would be my only thing that I would add to it. Celebrate it, but honor with honor.
Okay, so Harold says to you, Dayton, I say that M. Dayton's movie should happen because it's true. It will work. It's actually happening.
Come on now, you talking about them ancestors are coming up the shores, because I know that when I went to the water in Hilton Head, I felt them come to greet me, and they are in me, and we are the ancestors. So thank you, Harold, because I do believe that. That's true. That's word.
Harold and got Coco started. Look at that. Yes.
I'm so speechless. You saw the message I sent you this morning. And it's just, I'm not going to say it, but it's
Wait, what?
No.
Maisha, no, right? It's a no.
Oh, she said it's a no.
It's a hard no. I'll tell you guys in the back channel, but it's a hard no. But that was scary hearing you say that, Maurice. And I say scary because there's scary movies. Let me explain. Like, you know how there's scary movies like Fred Krueger, like all those kind of movies that aren't real. But listening to your story, it's fucking real. Like, I'm sorry to curse, but it's like thinking of what these people did to our people, is just insane. And I just always think about my father and being in damn freaking, what the hell am I, North Carolina, hot as crap here. I'm like, how in the world could you do that to somebody? Like, I don't even like walking outside to the damn car and there's AC in the car. And then you're going to make someone stand outside and work and they had no AC. I'm getting a little livid right now. But it's just like, whoa. And then where we are today and that movie, I mean, could you imagine all the ancestors of the people that did what they did? If we came back and did, I'm muting,
I had a conversation with my daughter last night. I have a scar on my leg from injury. And I've been saying, I want to get a tattoo on it. And we were talking about it. And she said that, I said, it's not that bad. I guess people don't notice. And, I do wear shorts and people see my legs all the time. I want, to be decorated. She said, well, what do you think? Why are you so concerned about it? Looking a certain way. And I said, well, I don't want it to look bad or whatever. And she said, Mom, I think it makes you look strong. I think it makes you look like you're strong. And all of that is to say that the scars that we think that we're carrying, she saw it as a marker of strength. And I love the story I did because I do believe that this is the day that we're living in. This is true. It's happening because I know for sure, and I'm like, really, and this is not just the plug, the Pleasure Principle Retreat, because we are going to Hilton Head, South Carolina. And I had never been there prior to a trip that another retreat that Dr. Jan and I did with some friends in that area. And the waters are powerful. And primarily we know because that region is where the majority of the Africans landed in the port. So there's like power in that water. And I just know that when I walked into those waters, you could not have told me. Like, I just felt the ancestors rejoicing, like I had returned. And I haven't been to Africa, I haven't been to the motherland. It's something that I, plan to do, but just to feel a sense of welcome, daughter. Like, we're so happy you came here, you came back. And to carry that with me, it does mean that I'm gonna I'm kicking some white boy ass and some white girl ass and everything. You right? I do it all day, every day, right? There's infinite for it.
Queen Coco, I just want to let you know 2 reasons why I'm super excited about your retreat. I know it's going to be amazing. I know it's going to be phenomenal. There's 2 to 3 reasons why I don't use the word can't, why I'm not able to go. One is the mental thing, what you were saying about Hilton Head and the slaves. The second one, Maisha knows. It's just, I'm not there yet, but I can just see how it's going to transform minds and bodies. And, if you guys want to give it some more plug, because there's people out there, I need it. I'm just not ready to face that yet. But if you want to talk about it some more, I would love to hear more about it so I can share it. That's all I want to say.
I'm gonna let Maisha take it because this is y'all's show. But I do want to say, Stars Tina, that we plan to be around for a very long time. And we plan to have, our vision is a permanent space, or a space that we all can come to experience that. So we'll be here.
You know what? You're kind of in flow, Coco. You go on and talk about it.
Well, I want Maisha to talk about it.
Well, she can talk about it after you talk.
Oh, she can. So yes, we'll be in Hilton Head with the Pleasure Principle Retreat with Dr. Jamesia, Maisha, and myself, Queen Coco. I am a cannabis advocate. I'm a phenomenal storyteller for the cause of fundraising in Southern California, but I'm also a woman on a discovery journey. And I cannot tell you the magnificent transformations that have occurred for me in the company of other women, and in spaces exactly like the one that we are creating for ourselves, and we're inviting you to. There are a limited number of spaces, but you now can reserve your space at the Pleasure Principle retreat.com, and we invite you all to come out. We'll all be there. It's a luxurious opportunity to luxuriate with all of us, and to not only tap the pleasure principle for your love life and your relationships, but also for your money, also for your career and your businesses, and also for the inner woman to shine out. Maurice is talking about the glow that he sees on our face. Well, we're gonna share more about how we nurture that glow and share that with others, because we believe that we all should be walking in that glow. It is our divine right. And we just want to work with each other because we get to scrape things off of each other because we know we've been there.
Yes, and yes. See, Coco?
I love that.
Amazing.
And sorry, it's being on camera while I do this at the same time is different. And when I say that it's different, it's that ever since Coco started talking about the ancestors and the water, and I have to do research on Hilton Head, like the amount of energy that is coming up through my spine and into my head right now is really making my body move. And I don't like channeling with people that I've never channeled with before, but it is very clear to me when Coco said that this is a must. And I know we say we don't tell you what to do, but there is a rebirthing of the women that are going to come to this retreat. It is not just going to be about you finding your pleasure and you tapping into your finances and your body in a different way. This is going to be a rebirthing of the Black and brown women who are going to attend this retreat. The water is calling us to come back because it is time for us to reclaim the place that we have held. And we were talking about the healing of men and women. And part of the reason why women have been at the forefront of this healing is because we have been the mothers, and we are the mothers of humanity. And it's not that we are leading the men, it's that we are showing the men how they can heal. And that is the responsibility that we hold in this time, whether we like it or not. And what I'm being shown is that there are so many messages for the women who are coming to this retreat, each individually for you, for your ancestry, whether they came into that port or not, but they are gathering, they're waiting for you to arrive at that shore for us to do a ritual that I can see is going to be led by Coco, that we are going to have while we are there for you to tap into your ancestral power, not their trauma, because they are so over us going through the trauma. They're like, we get it, you're hurt, it's done. And now you need to take the power that we had and we want to gift it to you, but we cannot until you come to us. And so we need to meet them at the water. We need to meet them where they are because they have gifts for us that we can carry through and teach the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. Okay, so yeah, come to the Pleasure Principle Retreat. I'm hot. Sorry, y'all.
What's the website again? Coco, can you share it?
It's www.pleasureprinciple.com. And it's not about being ready. You're ready. We're ready. It's about accepting and being open and available. Those are the requirements. If you're not available, open, and present and willing, then no, you're not ready. But we hope you are. We hope whoever's listening, whoever is watching, will tap in because it's going to be amazing. And it won't be the first time. It's just, I think the first time is going to be special. So, yeah.
So I have to give you the titles of the movie. Shelly is just going wild in the back channel. These are some titles for your movie, Maurice. The Ancestors, The Strong, The Powerful, The Coming, or At the Water. That's from Shelly.
Ooh, I'm feeling At the Water. But I want to say something for Maisha, what you said, brilliant. Coco said something that I want to make sure it's in the clips and we remember it. We scrape things off of each other. That visualization, that sentiment was just extremely powerful. And it's something that, back to what I was saying about what I would do in a men's retreat, scraping things off of each other.
Maurice, we may have to have you,
We may. And, I wasn't thinking of this. I really wasn't thinking of this when we came up with the Pleasure Principle Retreat. But I lost my first baby. And I was on a business trip in the Carolinas. And I had never been to the South, really. And the day before I started to spot, I had gone to a plantation. I had gone to visit. And the next morning I began to spot, and I ended up in the hospital for a week to try to save a baby boy that didn't survive. And I was cared for by these nurses who had a funny accent, but they loved on me so deeply. I came to know them as they had a Gullah Geechee connection. But one of them consoled me and told me, she prayed that God would wrap cotton around my heart to help absorb from the pain of the loss of my son, who I called Isaiah, because Isaiah was the prophet who came to kind of tell people life it doesn't come out how you always think it comes out. But it was in that place, as I healed through it, that I came to understand it as Isaiah went back to the ancestors, that he never intended to be here, but instead to go back to the ancestors. And, it was during the tour that I learned about the history and the building of the Citadel and all of that. And so my going back to Hilton Head with our group last year and my going to the waters was absolutely unintentional welcoming back. And it was spiritual for me because of what I've been through. But I'm so excited about going back and leading a ceremony or leading a ritual where we reclaim the gifts that our ancestors have given us. And we nurture those seeds. And I think it's, so much bigger than we are. It's so much bigger than us, but it requires us. So, girl, it's 7 o'clock. Oh my gosh.
First of all, Coco, Dr. J, and Maisha, I'm hoping you guys will do a live to talk. I mean, I know you did one. I looked at it briefly, but just listening to Hilton Head, because, I'm like so excited about Africa these years. And it seems like since I can't get to Africa yet, Hilton Head's the closest. And I really want to learn a lot more, because as I hear you guys speak more, I'm like, wow, I want to go, even though I'm scared. So I'm hoping you guys can do a live, or not even a live, just a video, so that we can, the history part of it, the girly part, that's great too, but I really want to get into that history. I think my entire life I've been running away from that sort of thing. I'm going to have to get off of here. So Maisha, I don't know if you can take over the clubhouse room, but I just wanted to give a special thank out to you, Coco, for coming through and sharing that, because I know I see you in the room and, a little here and there, but thank you so much. You've touched my heart. Maurice, oh my gosh, we have to do this once or twice a month. Like I said, it's just the history I've learned. You guys talked about red velvet cake. You talked about some red drink. I'm like, that's blood, Like, I didn't even know the history of these things. And I'm like, I said this to someone the other day, if I don't know, other people, probably don't know either. So thank you, Maurice. Maisha, always pouring into us, and Dr. J, your platform is amazing, guys. If you're watching, listening, wherever you are, please follow this woman. She's doing amazing things. And I'm stressing about this 24-hour fast, Maisha, but I'm trying not to think about it. Someone wrote in the chat, Harold, people are going to get saved when they come, talking about your retreat. When I say get saved, I mean save themselves by learning and finding their own souls at the retreat. Yes, and that's why I'm scared. I am so emotional, guys. Like, I'm gonna be crying, screaming, happy dance. Just like, what is wrong with that, girl?
You know what? King Harold is going to be there. I think that Maurice might come through for photographs, for like maybe something a little bit sensual, something a little, Maurice, we'll talk about that. So
I was just thinking the same thing. If we could, like,
I am rubbing off on you guys. I love it. I don't know if it's true. You got to start that way. I don't know if it's true, but this is what I heard.
No, ma'am. No, we are.
But I heard.
But yes, October 13th through 16th, Maurice, and we do need someone to capture. And I think having some male presence there. We're planning on having the chef be a man as well. I think so many of us as Black women, we don't know how to be held by men and just relax and be held. And that's part of the issue. So we're looking to also create some of that by having the male chef and having Harold there. So
Maisha and Dr. J and Queen, I don't know if this is true, but this is what I heard. You're going to have like those sensual photo shoots, like the private photo shoots that are black and white. If people want to purchase that, the like sultry ones. I know Maisha likes that. Is that true?
I think he had a touch.
All right, I gotta go now. Maisha, are you gonna take over the club? All right, guys.
Wait, before you go, can you mute real quick? I was going to read something closed out, but I want you to hear it. And as far as the photo shoot, we'll see. I was planning a trip. My birthday is in October. I was planning a trip somewhere else, but maybe we'll do that. But
October what day?
29th.
Oh, right next to Coco. She's the 31st.
What? Hey. October Scorpios are the best Scorpios. Anyway, this has come up.
Go on with your reading now.
This writing has come up about 3 times in this room, and every time I didn't read it, so I'm reading it today. All right. It's called a that he kind of love. A that he kind of love is pure. It comes from a desire to assure the comfort of another. It exists as a warm embrace to another's soul. A that he kind of love is not obligatory. It isn't born out of a supposed responsibility to an office or role. It doesn't say I'm this or that, so I will do, but rather it is a love born of a longing deep within, a desire to bring peace and comfort to another's life and being. A that he kind of love is propulsive. It moves us to do. and do without remorse or trepidation. A that he kind of love doesn't strive to be more than it is. It operates in a manner that is familiar, welcome. A that he kind of love is not free. The giver must give of and give up themselves, but in that cost, that giving of and giving up comes freedom and peace. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And I was going to say, I don't even know if I'm still on because everybody disappeared. Anyway, it first came up when Triple J was talking about doing a retreat, and that was going to be the title of the retreat. Came up another time for some other reason, but today it was about that kind of love that moves you to do stuff, which could move me to come down there for a photo shoot, that could move Tina to move out of that fear and get that scraping off that she needs. So yeah.
Thank you. Maisha, I'm going to mute myself on Clubhouse, and then you can unmute. I have an 11 o'clock appointment. This is great, Dr. J. Again, thank you. And whoever's doing the 24-hour fast, good luck. I'm muting myself. You're up, Maisha.
I'm going to pull you out. Oh, no, I wasn't. I was actually passing it over to you. Just give us I tell you what, I can barely hear you.
It's because I'm muted, because I don't want any feedback. And I'm trying, do I have feedback?
Mm-mm.
Oh, all right. Look, my tech is working and y'all gave me a call. That's great. No, I was saying it's because I don't have a good poker. I don't have a good poker face. And Maurice just read that thing, and I'm sitting here basking in every word that he just said for that whole entire thing because it was so beautiful. And I'm like, normally I'm behind my phone right now and I could just sit for a minute and just not say anything. But now y'all are asking me to talk, and I'm gonna get my words all fumbled up. But how did everyone hear that? Did everyone hear what Maurice said? Did everyone hear? If you did, type it in the chat. Yes, because it was just a yes. God, that sounds like Lisa Nichols. But if you did hear it, just type in the chat because it was beautiful. It was amazing, and I would love to see some photography that goes along with that, with what you wrote, Maurice, because I think that it could be amazing. So that was really what I wanted to chime in, that my body's feeling all kinds of ways about it right now. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. We have been here for 3 hours, guys.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I think we are good. I
feel full after that.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. So I tell you what, Maisha, if you want to give any updates on the things that we're doing in the group, any quick highlights, and then I can close it out.
Yeah. So what is this?
Anyway.
I'm looking at my calendar. What is this? So Stars Tina and Carmel have the Fitness on Fire experience that is happening. It is hopefully y'all can hear me in Clubhouse. Have the Women's Empowerment event that is happening on August 13th in Rahway, New Jersey. I will be there. Shelly will be there. It's going to be an amazing event. It is called Ignite Your Fire, and it is the beginning of this movement that they have of empowering women through health and wellness and other aspects of their life. So definitely join us there August 13th. It'll be from 9 to 4, I believe. So it's now extended. It's going to be a whole entire day, which is going to be amazing. We're still holding out hope that Dr. Jamesia decides she wants to roll through. She got nothing else to do. So that's going to be happening. Of course, the Pleasure Principle is happening. thepleasureprinciple.com is where you can put down your deposit that myself, Dr. Jamesia, and Queen Cocoa Puffs are putting together. And we are super excited about that. I mean, when we tell you our hearts and souls have gone into this, if you could see the excitement behind the scenes when we talk about it, we are creating space for the women who are rolling through there. And I know it's going to change our lives and the lives of anyone who shows up In the interim, yes, we have an ab challenge that is happening. If you subscribe to the Fitness on Fire experience here on YouTube, Carmel is donating her ab muscles Monday through Friday. 10 minutes was the first week, 15 is the next week, then 20 minutes. Don't leave her hanging out there by herself. When she gets up to 25, 30 minutes, join her and just work the core. You got to work the core. It's the foundation of our body, actually. So you definitely want to get on there with her. And of course, we're doing this fasting with Triple J. We're very excited. We're going to have a 72-hour room in his club, the Champion Mindset. Please become a member of his club, the Champion Mindset. All of us are going to be in there speaking, moderating, cutting up, having a good time while we get through the 72-hour fast that's going to be happening at the end of June. So those are the things that are going on. Shelly says the words. See, I can't. The words are so yummy, Maurice. That's what Shelly said. And with that, I'm done with the announcements. I feel like I was at school. You know, at school, you remember in public school, you got to be picked to go into the thing and give the morning announcements.
I do. I remember that because I was one of those people.
Me too.
That's why we connect. Anyway, all right, you guys. We appreciate you guys being here on the live on every other Friday. We missed those of you that couldn't roll through, and we appreciate those of you that did. And I am going to go on and close out my channel. I appreciate Maurice, Coco, Health Self-Care Maven for coming through, Tina, all of the people. And hopefully we can cultivate more men coming on, to talk about what you guys talk about. We're women. So it's important that we have the male presence. So I appreciate you for being here. As I said, I'm going to pull you guys out. Thank you for being here. And then I'm going to close the channel out. So, hey guys, thank you so much for being here with us today. I hope you enjoyed this conversation, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye now.